With 8 years of real estate experience and deep roots in Alliance, Heather Prince is more than just your local realtor. She's a proud graduate of Alliance High School and the University of Mount Union. She is also a lifelong supporter of her community. As a dedicated Homes for Heroes affiliate, Heather is honored to give back to those who serve. Teachers, healthcare professionals, firefighters, and EMTs, along with law enforcement who buy or sell a home with Heather, will receive a special reward check after closing. A heartfelt thank you for their service. Local, loyal, here for our heroes. Thinking of making a move? Contact Heather today. Heather Prince with Howard Hanna Real Estate Services, your hometown real estate experts.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to say first, all glory to God. Without him, I am nothing.
Power the shove, Neighbor Nation! We will see you on Saturday afternoon! Riley Meister gets the point!
Back into left field! Say goodnight to that baseball!
This is another one! It's back-to-back jacks for KSU Tuscarawas! He's the point, and it's alive! Hanson pushes it over! Unbelievable! We play on! It's blocked! We're tied! We're tied! Unbelievable!
Please stand for the playing of the national anthem.
Drafts going out with the coaches.
We good? Yep. Welcome to today's game between Uniontown Lake and your Alliance Aviators. Starting lineups. For the Lake Blue Streaks, head coach Joe Anderson. Batting first, playing center field, number 42, Ty DeGeorge. At shortstop, number 8, Alex Quizo. Catching, number 45, Anderson Alachi. I can't turn it. In left field, number 31, A.J. Mitchell. Number 3, Drew Prevanarin. Number 2, Grady Widener at third base. Number 15, Max Retton at second base. Number 11, Jake Severson, DHing. And number 7, Johnny Yoder in right field. And on the mound, number 9, Camden Schruck. Now for your host Aviators. Head coach, Jeff Graffis. Assistant coaches, Brad King, Nate Morrison, Phil Yarian, and Aaron Long. Your Aviator starters. In left field, number 15, Cone Hendershot. At second base, number 11, D'Angelo Fisk. Catching, number 1, Bo Davis. At shortstop, number 30, Charlie Eakey. In center field, number 0, Lincoln Reese. At first base, number 14, Jackson Ganny. At third base, number 13, Gage Lyons. DHing, number 7, Gavin Schrader. And pitching on the mound, number 12, Brody Bagera. In right field, number 9, KB, Cam Burton. Come on, Ray. Number 6, KB.
Coming to you live from Alliance High School, this is OHSAA Baseball on SmeeSports in partnership with Spectrum Channel 1022 Alliance. Today's matchup features the 1-0 Alliance Aviators and the 0-0 Lake Blue Streaks in a matchup from last year's tournament, a district semifinal loss for the Alliance Aviators. Hello, friends. Nathan Smee and Cooper Fontaine on the call for you this afternoon. Redemption and revenge. 2 R words, 2 very fitting words to describe today's matchup and feeling for the Alliance Aviators.
Yeah, you know, the Aviators definitely looking to get back at it. A heartbreaking loss in the tournament. I mean, last year they were a fantastic team, but based on what we just saw in their last game out against JFK Catholic, I think we can expect a lot more competitiveness from them today. They want to win this game, and you just know that Coach Graffis he's letting them know, hey, you got to fight for it. And it's going to be a gritty match for sure, and I think it's going to be a fun one.
And, of course, this matchup was initially scheduled for Saturday afternoon, but due to the cold, it was canceled like so many games in the area. But fun fact, Cooper, 1 game did play here. That was Thomas Aquinas and Coventry, a win for Coventry in that one. So, interesting to still see that game get canceled, but good enough for another team to play here. Either way, we are ready for baseball and for Lake baseball fans for their season opener, and it is a very familiar name leading things off. It is the quarterback, Ty DeGeorge.
I think we kind of talked about it a little bit in pregame, but you look at a lot of these nearby schools, it's just the same team in different sports.
Bugera's first pitch will miss high for ball 1, and we are rolling at 4:43 p.m. Of course, Bugera was the second pitcher that we did see on Friday in the win over JFK Catholic, coming in for D'Angelo Fisk, who started the game, as he was sandwiched by, at the back end of it, Cameron Burton.
KB, I mean, the whole pitching staff for the Aviators actually had a fantastic day out against JFK Catholic.
Bugera's 2-0. It'll run inside and hit DeGeorge. And the leadoff man is aboard for the Blue Streaks.
And that's exactly how you want to get things started, you know. You don't have to make contact, well, bat to ball at least, but hit by pitch, easy way to get on first.
Now here comes Alex Quire, the senior for Lake, playing shortstop today, and an early opportunity to do some damage.
This Alliance defense only allowing 5 hits to JFK Catholic, but a fair amount of walks, though, were surrendered in the end.
That's true. We talked about it quite a lot during the game. Just the pitchers trying to find that rhythm in the season opener. And they did figure it out, but there certainly were a few balls and a few walks in that match.
And, of course, once you get to some of the tougher games on your schedule like this one, you have to clean it up. Bugera once again missing the zone, 1-1 now. But Brody Bugera, the goal for him is simple. Settle on in, as he was a solid pitcher last year, a 3.30 ERA man for the Aviators. His 1-1 misses outside for ball 2. Looking at the defense today for Alliance, it is Bugera on the mound, Davis doing the catching. Ganny is at first, Fisk is at second, Iki is at short, Lyons is over at third. And speaking of Lyons, here he comes over from third. His throw to Ganny is on time for out number 1, a bit high. But Jackson Ganny over at first base continues his great start to the season with a nice stretch.
And you might have been able to pick it up off the hot mic, but Coach Morrison down below tells Bugera, let the defense do the work. Don't get caught in your own head thinking about the placement of the ball. You got a solid defense around you. Just let them do the work.
And, of course, last year in 23 1/3 inning work, he ended up with only 19 strikeouts, so less than a strikeout per inning last year. More of a contact guy, as Bo Davis tells him to calm it down and that he is doing okay. And that is the sign of great leadership that is going to make its way over to Youngstown next year, as Bo Davis is a YSU commit. He'll be a Penguin next season. Nice little team out there in the Horizon League. First pitch to Alachi is high for ball 1, and going back to last year, Cooper, I don't think you have the fondest memories of Mr. Anderson Alachi.
No, I just remember coming out in the cold for some playoff baseball, and Mr. Alachi, 2 homers in that game. I mean, he's a beast for sure. And definitely one of those players to keep an eye on, says Coach Graffis.
So many players on this roster that you have to keep a close eye on. Whenever you see a Federal League team, you always have to be careful. And that time, Bugera able to find the strike zone. Last season, Alliance, although they did have 2 losses against Lake, was the better team on paper. 18-8 record compared to 15-13. But out of conference play, where Lake struggled mightily, going 3-9, they were really, really solid. And Alachi, a deep drive to right center field. Reese is underneath it and makes the grab for out number 2. And here will come the tag up. Iki's throw to third is not in time, and it will be a productive out. That'll put Ty DeGeorge 90 feet away from home with 2 down, setting up the left fielder, A.J. Mitchell.
We talked about it a lot even during that last game. You were referencing softball, but productive outs. If you can advance that next base runner, something good is happening.
And Mitchell, the left fielder, a big opportunity for him to open the scoring today for the Blue Streaks. Looking ahead to next inning, it's Hendershot, Fisk, and Davis for the Aviator offense. And speaking of Hendershot, we didn't finish setting the defense. It's Hendershot out in left, Reese in center, and KB Cam Burton out in right, and that will officially set the defense for the Alliance Aviators. Mitchell fouling that one off, now 0-2 the count.
That one's going back into the parking lot. Watch out for your cars, ladies
As
and
long as
gentlemen.
it is not my car, I am not too upset.
Does your insurance cover baseballs?
I'm not going to make a comment. The 0-2 misses high for ball 1. I have Akron Elliott in my mind now, thanks to you.
Oh, that was a fun trip up there, if I remember correctly.
Great host, but because of that alone, I will probably not be going back. Here's the 1-2. A good drive from Mitchell into center field. Reese, right there, tracks it down and makes the grab to retire the side. Coach Morrison told Bugera, trust the defense, and that trust gets him out of the inning. Middle of 1 in Alliance. No score on SmeeSports.
With 8 years of real estate experience and deep roots in Alliance, Heather Prince is more than just your local realtor. She's a proud graduate of Alliance High School and the University of Mount Union. She is also a lifelong supporter of her community. As a dedicated Homes for Heroes affiliate, Heather is honored to give back to those who serve. Teachers, healthcare professionals, firefighters, and EMTs, along with law enforcement who buy or sell a home with Heather, will receive a special reward check after closing. A heartfelt thank you for their service. Local, loyal, here for our heroes. Thinking of making a move? Contact Heather today. Heather Prince with Howard Hanna Real Estate Services, your hometown real estate experts.
Welcome back to Alliance High School. Bottom of the first inning in this non-conference matchup. Nothing, your score here on SmeeSports as you are watching OHSAA Baseball in partnership with Spectrum Channel 1022 Alliance. Cohen Hendershot, he will step into the batter's box to get things underway for Alliance. And on the mound today, he will have the tough task of taking down Camden Schrock. Schrock, a junior, a member of the Warehouse Warcats, playing for my good friend Aiden Kerr and the future general manager of Raider Student Media over at Mount Union. I'll tell you what, Cooper, I watched his bullpen footage. Look out, he is nasty.
I heard a little bit off camera, so we shall see.
But Hendershot able to make some good contact on the first swing, flies it out to right. And the play is made for out number one. Yoder able to track it down. Looking at this Lake defense, it is Schrock on the mound, Alachi behind the plate. Perbanich is over at first base with Retton over at second. Quior is at short with Widner over at third. Mitchell to George. Yoder goes the outfield left to right to finish setting up the defense for the Blue Streaks. 1 up, 1 down as D'Angelo Fisk will see a first pitch ball up high at the letters. D'Angelo Fisk, the winning pitcher on Friday night, a solid outing for him. Going back to last year, a solid average of 282. Fisk pops this one up, and it is going to go out of play.
I almost caught it.
I thought I saw your hand. I thought that was your hand.
I was just joking around. It didn't. I mean, it looked like it came back towards the fence, but
There we go. We have the sound effects for it, too. Count now 1-1 on Fisk. This Lake team last year averaging 5.4 runs per game, but the big one for them defensively only allowing 3.4. And you go back to their 2 wins over the Alliance Aviators. One game a little bit closer than the other, 4-3 in the first one, then 11-2 in the other. Point being, it was their defense allowing 2.5 runs per game on average against Alliance last year. Fisk takes that one for strike 2. And then in the offensive category, averaging 7.5 runs a game. So above both averages in a positive way. And that was the story for Lake against Alliance. The 2-2 is off the plate, and we are full. In the on-deck circle, it is the YSU commit, Bo Davis. But a chance for Alliance to get their first base runner of the afternoon, albeit in an earlier time slot than we at first expected. And here comes the payoff pitch. A zipper up the middle and through to center field. It is a 1-out base knock for D'Angelo Fisk. Hung in the whole entire at-bat and finally gets his base knock at the end.
Yeah, that one, like you said, a zipper almost took out Schrock's feet there, right over the mound.
To go back to some MLB The Show classics, a little skip to my Lou action on the mound. A classic from Matt Vasgersian. But Bo Davis last year.
coming with all the references today.
As always, but Bo, a 377 average last year. Throwback to one not in time. Of course, a great campaign for him last year. Plenty of power with his swings. Could have been our player of the game on Friday, but of course we did go and give it to Lincoln Reese as he has a perfect on-base percentage so far this season. Davis takes the first pitch for a strike, 0-1 the count. For Camden Schrock, this is a tempo-setting at-bat. You strike out Davis or force him to get into a double play. That is how you tell your defense, you know what, we have this, and it is just going to be the same exact thing as last year. Davis takes the 0-1 off the plate that time, evening things up. This Alliance team, of course, keeping in the back of their mind that A, there is some rain on the way, but B, they also have the Winter Sports Banquet at 7, which is a kicker for the time of today's game.
You cramming all that in with, you got back-to-back games tomorrow and Wednesday.
Back-to-back-to-back, and there's a chance with the weather that if CCC's field is unplayable, it is back-to-back-to-back home games before hosting Buckeye and Salem on back-to-back days here. So it is going to be an exciting couple of weeks here for the Alliance Aviators. The 1-2 from Schrock. Davis swings and misses. 2 down. Strikeout number 1 today for Camden Schrock, and as we said, if you can set the tempo with Bo Davis, you'll be in a great spot. The strikeout more than sets the tempo.
Especially with, I will say, someone as kind of high profile as the Youngstown commit himself. The skilled player able to strike him out just like that. It's an impressive feat.
Throw back to first, not in time, but here comes Charlie Eakey in the 4 spot today. Last season, a .288 average for him. Really burst onto the scene by necessity at some positions. Played some first base, but now at his native shortstop, of course, got some run in there with the absence of Michael Blackwell in the early portion of the season. Iki that time takes strike one. But I would say he did a great job as a sophomore last year, and he is currently paving the way for two sophomores in the starting lineup today, in Gage Lyons and Jackson Ganey.
As well as Cohen Hendershot.
Can't forget about him out in left, but from the infield's sake, it's big. And now an 0-2 count on Iki. A very young infield. You go from left to right, starting at third. Sophomore, junior, sophomore, or senior, then sophomore. And then, of course, you do have your senior experience in your battery. 2 strikes here on Iki. Schrock looking for back-to-back punch-outs as the runner goes. Iki a drive into left center field, and that one is down in the gap. They will send Fiscon home, and he is in there. It is an RBI double for Charlie Iki, and Alliance will strike first in the bottom of the first. And we will watch that one back on the replay, Cooper. What a swing from Charlie Iki. Again, talk about a big player stepping up in a big moment for the Alliance Aviators.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the placement there was perfect. He just drilled it deep, out of reach of anyone, and he's able to send D'Lo home.
And now still a runner in scoring position for Lincoln Reese. So the times should keep getting better here for the Alliance Aviators.
Definitely the start that they want. Getting 1 run home. It's definitely what you, especially a team that beat you twice last year, you got to get out ahead.
And that's exactly what they do here. Schrock's 0-1. Reese tips that one foul. But 2 for 2 last time we saw him. A few RBIs to his name. A really good start to the season for Lincoln Reese, the Walsh commit.
You have, I mean, I think we're going to start calling Walsh Aviator U. I think this has been kind of a joking discussion, but the amount of Aviators going to Walsh these coming years are just crazy.
Really impressive. That one is high, and it is going to go off of Alachi. His throw to third is not in time. Iki now 90 feet away. But to your point, Cooper, I think it is really incredible to see how many students from Alliance are going to Walsh and not Mount Union, literally a stone skip away from here. I mean, I could see the new townhouses from where I'm standing right here in the press box.
That's crazy. I don't know. There's something about that Walsh. They're just persuasive with the Northeast Ohio area, I guess.
The 1-2, it'll be there for strike 3 looking, and the side is retired. Strikeout number 2 today for Camden Schrock ends the inning, but not before Charlie Iki leaves his mark on the opening frame with a big RBI double into the left center field gap. To the second inning we go in Alliance. It is the Aviators up 1-0 on Lake.
With 8 years of real estate experience and deep roots in Alliance, Heather Prince is more than just your local realtor. She's a proud graduate of Alliance High School and the University of Mount Union. She is also a lifelong supporter of her community. As a dedicated Homes for Heroes affiliate, Heather is honored to give back to those who serve. Teachers, healthcare professionals, firefighters, and EMTs, along with law enforcement who buy or sell a home with Heather, will receive a special reward check after closing. A heartfelt thank you for their service. Local, loyal, here for our heroes. Thinking of making a move? Contact Heather today. Heather Prince with Howard Hanna Real Estate Services, your hometown real estate experts.
Welcome back to Alliance High School. A strong start for the Aviator offense, courtesy of Charlie Iki's RBI double, up 1-0 on Lake, as you are watching OHSAA Baseball on SmeeSports in partnership with Spectrum Channel 1022 Alliance. Once again, I am Nathan Smee. Alongside me today, Cooper Fontaine. Just like against JFK Catholic, albeit not to the tune of 3 runs, but a strong offensive start again for the Alliance Aviators.
Yeah, able to figure things out early and kind of get into that rhythm. Definitely a huge plus to start the game.
And Bugera able to find the strike zone there on Drew Prabanich, the first baseman. It'll be Prabanich, Widener, and Retton. 5, 6, and 7 due up for the Blue Streaks. Now 1-1 as Bugera misses off the plate. But last year, 15-13, losing in the district championship game to Worcester. A very good Lakeside last year, and they bring back so many great players again. Swing and a miss on the off speed. Now 1-2 the count on Pregame. But of course, that Worcester team in its own right, led out by Akron commit at the time, and now Akron zip Brady Bowen. A really fun team to see play, and of course, getting to cover some of Brady Bowen's games with OEB Rundgren in the summer. He was a fun player, and let me tell you, the Zips got one heck of a player in Brady Bowen. 2-2 misses up and out for ball 3. Bugera at risk of losing him here. Now a full count on Pregame.
You know, big shout out to the city of Worcester. My dad actually went to the College of Worcester, so
there you go.
Fun fact right there.
Payoff pitch will miss for ball 4, and the leadoff man is on. At Art Murray Field, albeit we weren't allowed in the press box today, we were there. A very nice facility. So with the leadoff man on again, here comes Widener. The third baseman stepping in here. One on, nobody out. For this Alliance defense, music to their ears right now would be a double play. And you look at the depth, you have Lions closer to the grass, or the pseudo grass as this is turf. You have your middle infield back in a twist ready to go. So pretty much what you would expect just in case they do try to lay down a bunt as well. You have to prepare for everything right now with this Lake team, and for Alliance, by preparing for the bunt, it is pretty much showing what their true identity is as a small ball team. On the 1-0 pop, over Lions, over towards short, it's Iki. His throw across the diamond is not in time. It is a long infield single for Grady Widener. And just like that, 2 men are on for Lake, setting up Max Retton, the second baseman.
Iki nearly had it, just not in time, and Lake now has a great opportunity.
And that was the only pitfall there of having Lions in so much. A perfectly placed ball from Widener. And just like that, this Lake offense in a prime spot to begin operating the way they know how to. Bunt shown and pulled back, and immediately you can see the crash from Ganny over at first. Most likely, if there were to be a bunt down, Retton would have to get it down the first base line. Ganny has to know that's his ball. His first idea has to be Lions. Bunt again, it's popped and out of play. So not just a flash in the pan, that is their full commitment, but 0-2 the count. It has to be a protection swing, if anything, from Retton. After him, it goes to Severson, the DH, then Yoder, the right fielder, before finally going back to the top of the order for Ty DeGeorge. They will bunt on the 0-2, and they will get it down, and it is foul. That one was the 1-1, so now 1-2. That makes a lot more sense. I was about to say, there is no way you commit to it this early in the game. Or really at any point in the game to get a bunt down with 2 strikes.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, that's my bad. My count was off, but it's all right.
Ray had it right. That's all that matters. Here's the 1-2, and a good swing into right field, but KB has it on a line for out number 1. Perfect swing, but right to KB.
Luckily for the Aviators, KB was ready, and again, the defense is there. You have to know that you got a solid defense to back you up. Don't be afraid if you're on the mound, if you're Brody Bugera right now.
And I feel like a lot of the time that you see bunt this early in an at-bat, a lot of the time it is a strong hitter that all of a sudden with 2 strikes they swing, and you're questioning why they were even showing bunt in the first place. But with 1 down and an unsuccessful bunting sequence, now you have to get more creative here with once again the thought of lead runner out at 2, out for out number 2, or a double play. Bugera that time just misses inside, evening things up. But again, this is where baseball becomes a chess match. You have to be careful here if you're Lake. But anything in the outfield, at least medium depth, should bring in the tying run. Here's the 1-1. Bugera up high this time to Severson. Once again last year, Lake 2-0 against Alliance. So a lot of great baseball played between these teams last year. And of course, Cooper, I think the clearer game was going to be game 1, the 4-3 opposed to the 11-2.
Yeah, and I think it just depends. Like, you get a game like the 11-2, when it gets out of reach, some of those later runs, you don't feel it count as much. As much as I don't want to say that, because the final scoreboard is the final scoreboard, but
you get to a point where, exactly your point, it doesn't really resonate, as the feeling of over is just over. Here's the 2-2, And this one is fouled back. And the count will remain the same here. Lake looking to get on the board here in the top of the second inning. And a great chance for them to do just that. Bugaris 2-2, lobbed on the pop, and this one is going to be caught by Ganny for out number 2. A nice job there from Jackson Ganny, tracking that one down in foul territory. Back-to-back unproductive outs. The runners stay put as here comes Johnny Yoder, the right fielder.
That is something, though, that we know Ganny does well, as against JFK Catholic, Bo Davis told him, you got no room. Ganny made the play anyways and got the out.
Albeit some light tosses with no hat on. Jackson Alashi is now getting slightly warm in the bullpen for Lake. I doubt that move is made in the bottom of the second inning. That could just be more of a precautionary measure. And that is what I would assume it would be if that were to be made. But still, I'd be shocked if they called to him in the second unless Alliance played 3 or 4. Count now 1-1 on Yoder with DeGeorgia waiting in the on-deck circle. Swing and a miss on the off-speed. Obviously, you can't throw it every single pitch, but Bugera's off-speed, and specifically that changeup, has been his best so far.
I was going to say that's definitely when he catches those batters the most, and it works really well for him.
Here's the 1-2, and it is off the plate. Bugera trying to catch Lake off guard one more time. Next inning for the Aviators, Ganny, Lyon, Schrader, 6, 7, and 8 due up. So nearing the bottom of the order. The 2-2 lobbed and up high, and we are full. And I think you and I both agree, loading the bases for Ty DeGeorge would be the absolute worst case scenario.
Yeah, definitely not what you want to do.
Full count here, the runners, they will be in motion on the payoff pitch, and it will run inside for ball 4. And back to the top of the order we go. It is the second walk of the inning. Third free pass of the first go-around surrendered by Bugera, as of course the first one was a hit by a pitch to Ty DeGeorge. So now you look at the game right here. Bases loaded. Go-ahead run is in scoring position. Tying run is at third. A base hit gives Lake their lead. Or a walk ties it up. And then from there you have to talk to your pitcher and make a decision of if you want to warm somebody up or not, which I would assume this could mean we see the debut of Parker Woods.
I was going to say there's a few other guys that you could go to here. A lot of talented guys, nonetheless.
But a 2-0 count here. One more ball, Davis, I think, is going to call time, or could be Yarian Morrison or anybody but Graffis at that point just to go and talk to him. 2 balls, no strikes, the count on Ty DeGeorge. DeGeorge, another take. That one at the top of the strike zone. Make it 2-1. Kind of surprised to see that one get called.
It was close for sure.
The 2-1. That time it will hit him. It's back-to-back hard 90s for Ty DeGeorge, and that will tie up the game at 1. An RBI hard 90 for Lake, and that is their opening run.
Now batting number 8.
Not too often you hear that. But I'll tell you what, down the road over at Mount Union, we saw that yesterday, a walk-off hard 90 for Daniel Tome. And as well, congratulations to him. He finally hit his home run. We joke about how close he always gets in center field. That time just had enough to push it over. And now Mount Union, they're on the road today playing against Teal. And as we look into that mound visit, what do you think Coach Morrison is saying to his pitcher?
It's hard to tell for sure, but he's probably letting him know, listen, have faith in your defense, man. Have faith in your defense. They've done you right so far. They won't do you wrong. I mean, these are your guys. You got to believe in them.
So now here comes Alex Cuellar, the shortstop, and we'll take a look here at his stats from last season. Batted .250 in 7 games, so not too many games for him, but when he has been on the field, he has been active for the Blue Streaks. And a chance for him to give Lake their first lead of the day. And you look at the excitement from the bottom of the first inning with Iki's RBI double, that has pretty much dissipated. Now it is about simply keeping this game tied and stranding the bases loaded. Bugera on the 1-0, able to find the zone that time. Now 1-1 the count. Again for Alliance, Gandy, Lyon, Schrader, 6, 7, and 8 due up in the bottom of the inning. Low and out on the 1-1 now, 2-1. And you get to a point where you're running the risk of bringing in back-to-back runners. At this point, it is not even about swinging. Bugaris 2-1 in the dirt. Lake 1 ball away from taking their first lead of the afternoon.
And on 2 walks, nonetheless.
1 hard 91 walk.
Right.
But still free passes. Time now called as Guerrero will take his ownership of the batter's box. Really can't see from here if there's any action in the bullpen or not. Bugaris 3-1, a ripper right up the middle and down in center field. Lake will take their first lead of the day, and they will bring in a pair. It is a 2 RBI single for Alex Cuellar. Make it 3-1 Lake. What a powerful strike right up the middle for the Blue Streaks. And Cooper, as we talked about, 1 swing away, 1 walk away, 1 anything away. And there it is. We officially have our action in the bullpen. And are you ready for an Aviator debut? It's Parker Woods getting warm.
It's going to be exciting for sure. And might be just what the doctor ordered for the Aviators.
And back on from the replay. It's ripped into right field. And that will bring in another back-to-back RBI base knocks. This time it is Anderson Olachi. And now it is a 4-run inning for Lake. Make it 4-1 Blue Streaks. Something is in the water in Uniontown. And I think, Cooper, that is going to be it for Brody Bugera. We'll see if that is the case or not here. A tough call either way, but Lake, a 4-run inning. And it will be so. Most likely, here comes Mr. Parker Woods, and there he is on your screen, coming onto the field to make his Aviator debut when we return. 4-1, it's the Lake Blue Streaks partying in A-Town.
With 8 years of real estate experience and deep roots in Alliance, Heather Prince is more than just your local realtor. She's a proud graduate of Alliance High School and the University of Mount Union. She is also a lifelong supporter of her community. As a dedicated Homes for Heroes affiliate, Heather is honored to give back to those who serve. Teachers, healthcare professionals, firefighters, and EMTs, along with law enforcement who buy or sell a home with Heather, will receive a special reward check after closing. A heartfelt thank you for their service. Local, loyal, here for our heroes. Thinking of making a move? Contact Heather today. Heather Prince with Howard Hanna Real Estate Services, your hometown real estate experts.
Time now for the call to the bullpen for the Alliance Aviators. Making his debut on the baseball field, it is Parker Woods. We've seen him in soccer, we've seen him in basketball, we've seen him in baseball. And no, Cooper, you're not going to see him in track as of right now.
Unfortunate, I know. As a track athlete, you know, you want to have a guy like that on your team because he can really do it all.
And his first pitch is fouled back by A.J. Mitchell, and as expected, the runner was in motion. That was number 22 moving for Lake. And 22, that is going to be Antonio C. So a few roster changes that were not on the initial roster. Here's the 0-1, skipping into Davis, and a nice back pick block. Count now even. And for Parker Woods, the goal right now is to simply settle in as an Alliance Aviator. Last year, it's in the past. Through 14 2/3 innings work, 15 earned runs. And this one is roped into left field. An RBI single for A.J. Mitchell. And that will make it 5-0, or 5-1 Lake, excuse me. What a rip. Hard 90 RBI, 2 RBI single, RBI single, RBI single. That's the second go-around so far for the Lake Blue Streaks.
They are just cooking right now.
And now Pregame, the first baseman, steps in. He walked his first time up. Still 2 on, 2 down, and Bo Davis, he'll go and have a word with Parker Woods. Of course, Cooper, that run does not belong to him, but going back to our spiel on Parker in 5 appearances last year, a 7.16 ERA, had a 1-1 record, 14 strikeouts as well, so a little bit closer to 1K per inning opposed to Bugera, who had 19 and 23 and a third. Pregame looking to keep the hit parade going. That one bobbles in front of Davis. His throw down to third is on the money. The tag, it is just a second late.
That was close.
Double steal there for Lake. And just like that, you have runs 6 and 7 in scoring position. I mean, they have completely become unhinged as of late. The 1-0, and it's another good drive down the right field line, and that one is going to be foul. Pregame nearly continued the inning with another big strike. This is the Lake team that I think you and I both expected to see offensively, and once again, this is game number 1 for them this year.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely didn't take long to settle in after that first go at things. I mean, 5 runs is just preposterous.
I knew you were going to say that as always. Here's the 1-1. That time up high for ball 2. But after a rocky start to the game, this team, bench, players, bullpen and all, they are engaged and they are enjoying their season opener today. Woods, he will look back to second, but nobody there. At this point, your goal is just to keep those runners honest as much as you can be. Count out 2-1. Pregame fouls that one off down the left field line. An awkward bounce off the bats. Count now 2-2. But a longer top of the second inning than expected. And all this damage has been done with 2 down.
That's exactly where I was going, where the Aviators just have to close it out stronger.
Here's the 2-2. A drive up the middle and down in center field. Run number 6 of the inning will score. They will send number 7, and he is in. It is a 2 RBI single for Drew Pregame, and the Blue Streaks lead it by 6.
Stat padding, bro. In 1 inning is crazy. I mean, the numbers that Lake is putting up right now is just ridiculous.
And now you're going to get to a point where you might have to see Schrock warm up again, where you do make that call to the bullpen potentially. Obviously, it is going to be a tough choice here. And yes, he is going to go out there and warm up as expected. He has to. He hasn't thrown in so long. And I guess here comes the sun, at least for a second. And the back end of that, I believe, is the only run that is accounted to Parker Woods. But just the hit parade continues. 4 consecutive base hits allowed. All singles. No extra base hits today for Lake. The only extra base hit is the only hit today for Alliance, or 1 of 2, as Fisk did have 1 as well. But Alliance, they will have to get back to work and then some in the bottom of the second inning. Woods is 2-0. Runs inside for ball 3. Widener, he is the 11th batter of the inning for Lake. And that a high strike call, now 3-1. But if this does turn to Retton, he would be number 12. Absolute domination here from Lake. Woods trying to battle back in with the 3-1, but misses it up high for ball 4. And here comes the 12th hitter of the inning.
Now batting, number 15, Max Retton.
A 2-out rally to end all 2-out rallies here.
Yeah, man, I'm just speechless right now.
And that pitch is high to Davis. Able to keep it down, but Retton a 1-0 count. And I'm wondering now, if you do make another change, where do you go? Do you bring in another pitcher, or just this become a elongated relief effort for Parker Woods? Another drive. This one is into center field. Still going back. It's Reese underneath it, and he will make the grab to retire the side. But 12 hitters come up for Lake, and they come away with 7 runs in the top of the second inning. To the bottom of the frame we go. It's Lake up 6 on SmeeSports.
With 8 years of real estate experience and deep roots in Alliance, Heather Prince is more than just your local realtor. She's a proud graduate of Alliance High School and the University of Mount Union. She is also a lifelong supporter of her community. As a dedicated Homes for Heroes affiliate, Heather is honored to give back to those who serve. Teachers, healthcare professionals, firefighters, and EMTs, along with law enforcement who buy or sell a home with Heather, will receive a special reward check after closing. A heartfelt thank you for their service. Local, loyal, here for our heroes. Thinking of making a move? Contact Heather today. Heather Prince with Howard Hanna Real Estate Services, your hometown real estate experts.
Welcome back to Alliance High School, and for those who tuned out for a few moments and tuned back in, a rude awakening. Lake in the top of the second inning plates 7 runs, now up 7-1 on the Alliance Aviators. Cooper, your thoughts on the top of the frame? With 2 down, a rally sprouted out of nowhere for the Blue Streaks.
Man, if you're the Aviators, you got to find a way to shut it down and get back into it.
It's Ganny putting it on the ground to begin the inning, and he is on the bag for out number 1. Prabanich stays on just long enough. A close call, but a nice throw from Quior over at shorts.
And if you want to get back in the game, that is not the way to do it.
If you want to keep Schrock in the game for as long as possible, that is how you do it. It's 1 pitch, 1 out. And here comes Gage Lyons, the third baseman. Nearly a home run last time out. Just died on the warning track. And Schrock, he is saddled in and dialed. 0-1 the counts. We were once again told that he is going to be a tough player to shut down, and so far that has been proven true. 2 hits for the Aviators, but other than that, 2 strikeouts. And again, just nasty. Count now 0-2 on Gage Lyons. In the on-deck circle, it turns to Gavin Schrader, the DH. Schrock looking for his third punch-outs. Gets it right there. 2 up, 2 down. Camden Schrock is dialed.
Now batting number
Man.
Would you expect anything less? And that is not to step on Zion's what did you expect for Moeller. Not at all. But is this what you expected? I would say yes. 2 up, 2 down, and here comes Gavin Schrader. And he will foul that one back. But just to see what we have seen from Lake's defense responding after allowing 1 to their offense plating 7 after it has been quite impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I thought it would be at least a little more competitive both ways based on last year's, 4-3 game that Lake won. But, I mean, right now the Aviators have got to respond now or never.
Said it perfectly. 2 strike counts. Schrock misses well up high. And I think that one was going to try to bait a high swing.
Although here's what I will say. Last year, if I recall correctly, versus St. Vincent St. Mary's. St. Vincent St. Mary's scored 7 runs in an inning, went up on the Aviators, and the Aviators came back. And by the time that game
and the 1-2 is on the outer edge of the strike zone for strike 3 looking, and the side is retired. Back-to-back punch-outs puts the Aviators down in order for today for Camden Schrock. But go ahead, Cooper, finish your story.
And they went up quite a few. I think they scored 7 in an inning. The Aviators responded, and by the time the game was called, the Aviators had 17.
We're going to keep it here during the break because I do want to debate this. I don't think we can use that St. V's game to talk about anything in regards to Shepard's group or Graphis' group. I don't think we can.
That's true. I just never, my whole spiel there was, you can't count the Aviators out. And they're not a team that gets super
Now that's fine, yes.
easily dejected, right? It's not a testament, like a comparison of who these groups are or what the, I mean, besides the fact that Aviators, even if they're, in this case, down 6, they're not out of it until the game's over.
Completely agree. This Alliance team has so much talent top to bottom, and there will be some growing pains. You played a JFK Catholic team who has some growing pains of their own. You play Massillon tomorrow, a team that you beat twice, but all of a sudden you have to go out there and do it again against them. A very solid group. Then, what I'm not going to really speak for anybody, administration, coaches, or anything. Let's call a spade a spade. It's going to rain on Wednesday. CCC is grass. It'll probably be played here, and we will probably be here to broadcast it, if we're being completely honest about what is going to happen there. Another good team. Then next week on Easter Monday, it's Buckeye. Then you have two games against Salem. I'm not going to elaborate on Salem any further. Then the number 2 team in the state according to PBR's rankings, only behind the big bad of Archbishop Muller and Berlin Highland.
It's a gauntlet for the Aviators.
And oh, by the way, after that, it's Carrollton week. It's going to be a tough couple of weeks for Alliance as they built a tough schedule. First pitch fouled off towards third, and the coach nearly had it. We nearly had our coaching fielding play, but just couldn't get it in the breadbasket.
Man,
That'll be an EC.
Graphis was able to make that play against JFK Catholic, but
Bryce Fisher would not be able to make that play. As much as he has said he would be able to, he would not. And I hope he is watching from Mexico and just heard that. Here's the 0-1. Fouled back. And as well, we will have some score updates from around the grounds and some other local games, including some up in Cleveland. And with that in mind, we currently have a 1-0 score. Holy Name on top of EC. As well, Macomb Community College up 1-0 on Tri-C. So 2 score updates as that one will miss in the dirt, but we should have more as the day goes on. That is, of course, Holy Name's first game of the season. Here's the 1-2. Woods just misses off the plate. A good miss from Parker. Count now even, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Looking for his first strikeout in the black and blue of Alliance. And he will continue his wait as that one is fouled off again. It's Severson, Yoder, DeGeorge. 8-9-1 due up this inning for Lake. And once again, we do have to be mindful of the storms that are starting to roll in, at least somewhat soon. Here's the 2-2 in the dirt, and we are full. Right now for Parker, the goal has to be simply not losing Severson.
yeah, and it's tricky, you know. Obviously, he knows a lot of people in Alliance because he grew up in the area, but starting for a whole new team, it's its own beast.
And he will lose him there. It is a leadoff walk for Severson.
Now batting, number 7, Johnny Yoder.
4th walk of the day surrendered by the pitching staff. 6th free pass if you include hard 90s. And it looks like as well we are going to have some notebook changes as we will have what appears to be a courtesy runner, which that would be Peyton Lavelle, the junior, coming on to run.
What's his name? Oh. What's his first name? Peyton?
But you look at it, I believe just a simple running change, but
Peyton Love.
you could see him eventually come in and hit, but of course, it just depends on where we are in the game. Nothing says Alliance doesn't get a double play here and shuts it down, and we just continue to roll, and we wouldn't see him until like the 5th inning. Bunt shown. Bunt is down. Woods. He will turn, makes his throw to 1, and there it is. 1 down. And by his own personal hand, his first put out as an Aviator. Of course, he did have one before that, courtesy of Lincoln Reese, but a play that he traditionally made, i.e. a strikeout or a put out in the field, that would be his first. And that, of course, does exclude scrimmage games. Those don't matter anymore. Just old stats that have no relevance. And back to the top of the order we go with Ty DeGeorge. I'll tell you what, he does need an ice pack after this one, Cooper, as he has been hit twice.
That's true.
We will see if the streak continues here. The 1-0 up high for ball 2. And for him today, it has been a walk in the park in the batter's box. No need to swing. I feel like you can make the argument that that is the best kind of day. The 2-0 up high again for ball 3. In the on-deck circle for Lake, it would turn to Cuellar, the shortstop. He got the hit parade going with a 2 RBI single his last time up. The 3-0, it will be in there for strike 1.
Obviously, everyone likes hitting strikes, pardon me, hitting homers, hitting dingers, but if you can get like you said, a walk in the park like that, where you get on base twice and you don't even have to make a hit, I would agree. That's definitely one of the best kind of days.
And now another mound visit here in Cooper. I'll keep it with you. Tell us what track's doing.
As in the Alliance track and field team, well, not up to a whole lot. I mean, we got invitational coming up at Salem High School on Thursday. Should be a good one. Open up the season, get into rhythm, and, obviously a lot of runners are still out of shape, myself included.
I was about to ask that.
I didn't do much running in the off season, mostly just watching basketball. But look who's warming up on the mound right now.
I had to look back and double check. It is Charlie Icky. And when we return, he will be on the mound for Alliance.
With 8 years of real estate experience and deep roots in Alliance, Heather Prince is more than just your local realtor. She's a proud graduate of Alliance High School and the University of Mount Union. She is also a lifelong supporter of her community. As a dedicated Homes for Heroes affiliate, Heather is honored to give back to those who serve. Teachers, healthcare professionals, firefighters, and EMTs, along with law enforcement who buy or sell a home with Heather, will receive a special reward check after closing. A heartfelt thank you for their service. Local, loyal, here for our heroes. Thinking of making a move? Contact Heather today. Heather Prince with Howard Hanna Real Estate Services, your hometown real estate experts.
Charlie Icky warmed up and ready to go on the mound for the Alliance Aviators in the top of the 3rd inning. 7-1 your score. It is all Lake in this one. Once again, I am Nathan Smee. Alongside me today, Cooper Fontaine. The pitching, it has been a little rough on the edges for the Aviators, and with 1 down, you have 2 runners on for Cuellar, a man who's already driven in a pair today.
I think the word that I would use to describe the pitching today has been lackluster.
I would agree, and as we've talked about, you have 2 more games left to go this week on back-to-back days. They have to be ready to go for Massillon and CCC on Tuesday and Wednesday. And a good big league take there from Cuellar. Now 2-0 the count. And looking at the time, 5:33, so nearly an hour in, as of course we did have a slightly earlier start. The 2-0. There for strike 1. Good work there from Icky, able to locate the strike zone. And Icky last year, not really a pitcher, and I believe really one of his only appearances was the St. V's game. If not his only one. As Cuellar, it's another shot deep to left center field, still going back, and that one is gone! It's a 3-run shot for Alex Cuellar. Make it 10-1 Lake. He now has 5 RBIs on the afternoon.
Man.
Stunned. That is one way to put it, Cooper. Stunned. Absolutely smoked over that left field wall.
It just does not matter who they put on the mound for the Aviators. I mean, Lake is responding and, well, they're hitting nukes.
It's a day at the Lake for them. And that will clear the bases, but Cuellar, 2 for 3 today. 3 RBIs on the homer, 2 on the single. He's a double and triple away from the cycle. And here comes Anderson Alachi. First pitch there for strike 1. But all of a sudden, this game is looking like a 5-inning matchup. Who would have thought heading in, and especially given what Iki did in the bottom of the first? Alachi able to foul that one off, now 0-2 the count, but I am stunned.
I was going to say, Iki was the one who was able to make things happen to get the game started for the Aviators, but right now on the mound, well, I won't say he's had a bad performance, but he just stepped in, and that's what happened off the rip.
But a chance here for Iki to right the ship a little bit to Alachi. The 0-2 leaves it hanging for ball one. And as well as, I don't know if he mentioned it on air, but Parker Woods is over at short in place of Iki. The 1-2, Alachi stays alive, poking it foul. But when it rains, it pours for this Lake offense. And I feel like that has been proven very, very true today.
And it looks like it's about to rain as there are gray clouds looming over us at the moment.
When is there not at this point, to be fair?
It's true.
Iki's 1-2. Alachi skies it off towards left field. This one looks to be getting down, and it will. It's off of Parker Woods' glove. And Alachi will sprint on over to second and is in standing. It looked like it was just going to outleg Woods. In the end, he got there, but it still falls. I score that one as an error, Cooper. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Parker was enough under it, and he had the speed. He was right there, just didn't make the catch.
It's tough because that was a tough play, but based on where he was when he touched it, Cooper, I think that was within the realm of possibility, which, of course, errors are all subjective. Ray has seen a fair amount of baseball himself, so I'm sure he does have some insight too, but it's always tough no matter how long you've been in the sport, and I played a fair amount of years. And hanging up the cleats a few summers ago, it never gets easier to decide what an error is and what is not, but you kind of have these basic and I would say generic definitions that are blanketing and kind of all-encompassing, and that's kind of what I've developed as a broadcaster, calling baseball opposed to playing it, but it's still always tough. And I mean, some books I'm sure would have given O'Neal Cruz a couple of errors last Thursday. Hard chopper over towards third. It's Lyons with the backhand. His throw to one is low, but in time. Picked by Ganny for out number 2. Jackson Ganny defensively has been so strong today for the Aviators. A pop-up in foul territory and as well, plenty of good blocks.
Yeah, Ganny, I mean, he's just some kind of defensive menace, soccer and baseball both.
And I'm sure you're excited to see him in a few months' time now. I mean, kind of 5 months away, almost half a year, but still, it's sooner than you think. Prabanic, he will take strike one there. 1 for 1 today with an RBI single and a walk to his name. But if that run from third does come around to score, Alliance, they would have to score again before the end of the 5th to keep the game going. Grounder over towards Fisk at second. His throw to one is in time and the side is retired. Alex Cuellar, the man of the hour, a 5 RBI hitting machine for the Lake Blue Streaks. To the bottom of the 3rd inning we go. It's all Lake on SmeeSports.
With 8 years of real estate experience and deep roots in Alliance, Heather Prince is more than just your local realtor. She's a proud graduate of Alliance High School and the University of Mount Union. She is also a lifelong supporter of her community. As a dedicated Homes for Heroes affiliate, Heather is honored to give back to those who serve. Teachers, healthcare professionals, firefighters, and EMTs, along with law enforcement who buy or sell a home with Heather, will receive a special reward check after closing. A heartfelt thank you for their service. Local, loyal, here for our heroes. Thinking of making a move? Contact Heather today. Heather Prince with Howard Hanna Real Estate Services, your hometown real estate experts.
Well, welcome back to Alliance High School. 10-1 your score. It is Lake over the Alliance Aviators. And again, Cooper, just when you think the offense is done for the Blue Streaks, they continue to rally. And as well, just to put this in perspective, They are halfway through their third go-around of the order. As KB steps in, he will be the last man to go the first time around for Alliance.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, their offense just coming out of nowhere, shocking you a little bit, and they've done it quite well.
With this Alliance team, we saw it last year against Perry. When they play the Federal League, anything can happen, as they had one heck of an inning, I believe, plating north of 10 runs. And they ended up run-ruling Perry in that game. Point being, as you've said a few times, never count this team out. Schrock's 1-0. Burton skies it on the infield over towards short. It's Cuellar. And why not more to add on to his impressive stat line? One down.
Routine play right there.
And back to the top of the order we go with Cohen Hendershot, who flew out to right his first time out. But this game has completely flipped on its head. A 10-0 run for the Blue Streaks, which you never hear about in the sport of baseball. That is a basketball stat. And Hendershot able to take a first pitch ball off the plate. But still time left for the Aviators, especially if they can continue this game past the fifth, which right now is task number 1. Keep it going to the 6th. Hendershot thought about it that time, but held up, making it a 1-1 count. As well, time locally 5:40, so just like that, nearly an hour in now. Here's the 1-1. Up and out. Looking ahead for Lake, as we talked a lot about Alliance, they have some familiar teams coming up. St. V's, CCC, Wadsworth, Louisville, and Hoover in their 5-game forecast. Hendershot takes that one. Count on 3 balls, 1 strike. In the on-deck circle after Hendershot, it goes to Fisk, who got the first hit of the game for the Aviators. But a full count now as Hendershot swings and misses. As for Alliance, it goes to Massillon and CCC Buckeye, and then 2 games against Salem. Full count 3-2. Schrock looking for his 5th punch out of the day. Hendershot over towards second, picked up by Retton, and his throw to 1 is on the money. 2 up, 2 down. This defense has allowed nothing as of late.
Yeah, I was going to say, Aviators just have not been able to get anything going. Blue Streaks just shutting it all down.
And I want to point this out. You see these jerseys today, Cooper. I love the Blue Streak jerseys.
It's giving me Dodgers vibes, but you know what? I think they're pretty fly.
And based on the way that he has been pitching, they have their own version of Otani, or I would say, to take away the hitting aspect, their own Yamamoto.
That's where I was going, was Yamamoto.
Kershaw back in the day. So many great Dodgers pitchers. Just go down the list and think about them. Maybe Paul Skeens one day. He'll be a Yankee, and it'll make us all very sad, won't it? It'll mess us up in Game 5 of the 2030 ALCS. The 1-1, eye level to Fisk. And again, looking at the clock, officially 1 hour in. 2 balls, 1 strike, the count on Fisk. Schrock sets and deals, missing low and out. We are full, or rather, now 3-1. Getting a base runner, that is the first task here for the Alliance Aviators. But of course, still 2 down. The 3-1 from Schrock. It is off the plate for ball 4, and it is a 2-out walk for D'Angelo Fisk.
Now batting number 1.
And now here comes Bo Davis, a player that easily can give some momentum to Alliance.
Right now, if you're the Aviators, you got to look to go on another a 2-out run like Lake did, right in the top of the 2nd.
And for Davis so far today, a strikeout to his name, and as we talked about it, it was a tempo setter, albeit 1 run still scored that inning. Since then, radio silence. But for Davis, a chance to rewrite the wrong. And he will take a ball outside. Next inning for Lake, it will turn to Wedner, Retton, and Severson. 6, 7, and 8 due up again. 1 ball, no strikes on Bo Davis. And again, it's going to miss, and I believe that was the 4th straight ball. We, of course, did see some action in the bullpen earlier, albeit just kind of to get a light warm-up in for somebody, but we could soon if Schrock still continues to struggle. That time gets the chase from Davis. 2-1 the count. He needed a strike and got it. But still plenty of game left here in this non-conference matchup and a rematch from last year's district semifinal. Throwback to one not in time. And again, if you're Alliance, I believe spring break coming up this week, correct?
Yes, sir.
Of course, I'm sure that is partially on their minds. Swing and a miss there from Davis, now 2-2.
Right after we get through that Ohio State testing, off for spring break.
That this week?
That is this week.
I do not miss state testing. Coming out 2 balls, 2 strikes on Bo Davis. Schrock looking to get out of the inning, and he will have to wait as he misses up high. And I just got word, I don't know what is happening over at Holy Name, but Nick Nemeth, the center fielder, nearly all state, is playing second base. I don't think he's ever played there at the varsity level. We'll have to look into that one during the break. Full count 3-2 on Bo Davis. Runner goes on the payoff pitch, and Davis will take ball 4. It is back-to-back walks for the Aviators, and here comes Charlie Icky.
The man with the plan who made it happen early for them. We'll have to see what he can do now and try and make a dent in this 9-run lead that the Lake Blue Streaks have currently.
As well, end of 3 at Ron Model. It is 2-0 Holy Name over Elyria Catholic. And as well, Macomb Community College is now up 2-0 on Tri-C. They did win the earlier game today. Time now called as here comes our mound visit. Obviously, this is just to simply settle him down, as I don't think there is any plan to take Schrock out of this game unless the walks continue. And really, Cooper, there shouldn't be any conversation about that here.
Yeah, especially with what Lake is putting up on offense, there's certainly no reason that Schrock should be taken out of the game.
I'll tell you what, if Paul Skeens had this kind of run support, he might actually be the happiest man ever to live.
He probably would.
But a 9-run advantage in the 3rd. That is nearly unheard of at this level, and just really a testament to how strong the offense has been today for Lake. Now here comes Charlie Icky looking to do it again. But right now the name of the game is patience. Level swing, clear mind. You just can't overcommit here if you are the Aviators. Just keep playing your game. The 1-0. Icky takes it on the outer edge for strike 1. Count now even. I'm sure in the back of his mind he is thinking about what he did his first time up with that RBI double, looking to do it again. Here's the 1-1. Skipping in, and Alachi getting active. Thought about the back pick down to first. And of course, you and I are both thinking, I'm sure, given the forecast of some rain at 6, is that going to be a great enough equalizer where if Alliance is at the sticks, you're going to see error after error for Lake and they continue playing through it, which it can happen, and it has happened before. And Icky offered at that one, and quick regrets. But St. V's, as much as we really can't use that game to show much, but the weather, a perfect example of it.
True, weather can be a total game changer.
The great equalizer, in my opinion. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Icky. Schrock sets and flyers, missing off the plate. Now a full count 3-2 with Lincoln Reese in the on-deck circle. What a moment this is for the Alliance offense. A chance to battle back in. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Schrock's payoff pitch. It is in the dirt for ball 4. It is the 3rd straight walk today from Camden Schrock. And I think now you will have some action at the bullpen, or at least you should if you are Lake. Still 9 runs in support. You do have that in mind, but one swing of the bat here, you bring in at least 2. Erase the damage done in the top of the inning, and you will be in a okay spot if you're Alliance. Strand the bases loaded here. Lake has all the momentum they need. First pitch backs him out for ball one.
Here's what I will say. Bases loaded for the Aviators. There's only a few guys who you'd want to let make that play for him, and I think Lincoln Reese is one of them, one of the senior leaders on this team, and I think he's got it for him.
And they will back pick down to first, and it is going to be off of him. That'll hit Iki in the back, and he appears to be okay. But a laser down from Malachi.
Oh, man.
And I think going back to that one before, he could have worn it. They have ice. I think they have ice for Lincoln. But a 2-0 count here on Lincoln Reese. And, of course, if needed, you probably could enter Parker Woods as your runner. Just switch the positions on your scorecard for a second. The 2-0, it is off the plate for ball three. And I think at this point, Coach Graffis wants to see a take. I don't know if Reese has the green light here. We will see, but there is action again in the bullpen for Lake, and that is going to be Jackson Alachi. Here's the 3-0. It is high for ball four. Back-to-back-to-back-to-back walks. It is an RBI walk for Lincoln Reese, his third RBI of the season. And now it is 10-2. And Jackson Ganny, he has a powerful swing as well. It's his turn. But if you are Lake, I think this will be the last batter that you do give Schrock if he walks him again. 4 walks today, and they have all been in a row. Just being smart right now is the key for Alliance. Schrock's first pitch is high for ball one. And I'm surprised we haven't seen Anderson Alachi go out and talk to his pitcher either. I know obviously you did have that mound visit, but go out and calm him down here if this is the ball. You pretty much have to. Or at least something. We've heard nothing. And that time finally able to relocate the strike zone. But the defense, very quiet for a group that's up by 8. You need to be more vocal. And obviously it's a small critique to make given the state of the game, but you have to play it like it's a close one. And Ganny, a roper over towards short. It's caught by Cuellar. And his excellent afternoon will continue. The side is retired. A one-man wrecking machine for Lake.
Right place, right time there. Jackson Ganny blasted that one, but just straight to the blue streaks. And they'll flip innings, man. Holy smokes.
I mean, my word, what a catch. To the 4th inning we go. Alliance does play one, but down 10-2 against Lake.
With 8 years of real estate experience and deep roots in Alliance, Heather Prince is more than just your local realtor. She's a proud graduate of Alliance High School and the University of Mount Union. She is also a lifelong supporter of her community. As a dedicated Homes for Heroes affiliate, Heather is honored to give back to those who serve. Teachers, healthcare professionals, firefighters, and EMTs, along with law enforcement who buy or sell a home with Heather, will receive a special reward check after closing. A heartfelt thank you for their service. Local, loyal, here for our heroes. Thinking of making a move? Contact Heather today. Heather Prince with Howard Hanna Real Estate Services, your hometown real estate experts.
Time now for another Aviator call to the bullpen. Basically, the game is, where is Parker Woods going to play next? He is now at third base as Gage Lyons now enters on the mound after playing at third for the opening 3 innings.
But, you know, that's kind of what he did during basketball season as, yeah, he's 6'4", he grabs a lot of rebounds. but he can shoot the 3-ball too. Yeah, he can play defense. He's just everywhere for the Aviators across multiple different sports.
And Gage Lyons, a chance for him to get introduced to the varsity stage pitching-wise. This will be the first time that we see him on the rubber today or in the regular season for A-Town. And he will have Widener, Renton, and Severson 6, 7, and 8. And Lyons, his first pitch is there for strike one. But a very interesting day of baseball so far at Alliance High School. But a good game nonetheless. On the 0-1, Lyons misses. And I feel like despite the score, that we have seen a lot of great plays all the way around. And I think obviously the kicker is if Quior did not make that catch, it's 10-4 at least. Swing and a miss, a heavy pull from Widener. Alliance is yet to get a strikeout today from any of their pitchers. Lions looking to find the first. Count now 1-2. And I believe they did just say a legal pitch. So that should be 2-2. And I think he also kind of did balk. Lions is 2-2, skips in, and we are full. And just like that, with one slight mistake, it goes from what would have been 2-2 to full. It's one of those plays that you have to avoid against a really strong offense like Lake. Full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes. The payoff pitch from Lyons. Swing and a miss, 1 up, 1 down. And there is the first strikeout today for the Alliance pitching staff.
And of all people to come from, Gage Lyons, the sophomore. You know what? Not a bad showing from him so far.
15, Max Breton.
It's what
If
you like
he
to
could
see.
develop as a pitcher as well, that is another big arm that Alliance will need for the future.
And a dynamic player because he's got the power. I mean, we already saw that put on display.
And if his location can continue to be on point like this, then all of a sudden you have another option. Now, at what point does it become too good that you take him out to save him for another game this week? The conversation as that one is fouled off, now an 0-2 count. Imagine if he does strike out the side here.
That would be insane.
But a 2-strike count here on Redden with Severson in the on-deck circle. Taken there for ball 1. And actually it is going to, it looks like, be somebody else in the on-deck circle. That'll be 27. That will be Lavelle staying in the game. The 1-2 grounder over towards Ganny. He will pick it up at first, and he will take it himself for out number 2.
Jackson Ganny making things happen. Continue to being kind of that defensive anchor for the Aviators as he's done so well these past 2 games.
So now here comes Peyton Lavelle coming in for Severson.
Now batting number 27, Peyton Lavelle.
And for Lavelle, obviously, he came in to run earlier, and as we kind of said, hey, if things go right, we could see him in the 5th, but we'll see him in the 4th. But if Lions can get out of this inning, given what we saw from Alliance, if they can get the bats going maybe a little bit quicker, you could look at a different game heading into the 5th. And we're not obviously asking this Alliance team to go out there and plate 10 runs in the bottom of the 4th inning to take a 2-run lead.
Right.
We're saying chip away. Make it 10-6, and then from there, make it 10-8, and maybe they score, make it 11-10, and then from there you have 2 innings left to play, score 2 runs, and you win.
Piece by piece.
You can't get it all back at once as much as you want to. Obviously you can, but it's not likely, and it's not mandatory. Got now 2-2, Lions able to get the swing and miss. But if he can keep them at 10 for the rest of the day, you have your task at hand. You have 12 outs to play with. You need 8 runs. 9 to win. A run per out. Here's a 2-2. It is there for strike 3 looking, and the side is retired. Second strikeout of the inning from Gage Lyons, and the inning is over. What a debut on the mound for Gage Lyons.
How about that?
Is that what you expected?
No offense to Gage, but not at all.
And we'll watch it back here on the replay. Impressive work from Gage, able to paint the corner, and a little bit of help, of course, from his star catcher and Bo Davis with the frame. To the bottom of the 4th inning we go in 8 down. It is Lake up 10-2 on the Aviators.
With 8 years of real estate experience and deep roots in Alliance, Heather Prince is more than just your local realtor. She's a proud graduate of Alliance High School and the University of Mount Union. She is also a lifelong supporter of her community. As a dedicated Homes for Heroes affiliate, Heather is honored to give back to those who serve. Teachers, healthcare professionals, firefighters, and EMTs, along with law enforcement who buy or sell a home with Heather, will receive a special reward check after closing. A heartfelt thank you for their service. Local, loyal, here for our heroes. Thinking of making a move? Contact Heather today. Heather Prince with Howard Hanna Real Estate Services, your hometown real estate experts.
Gage Lyons steps in the batter's box to get things underway in the bottom of the fourth inning. 7, 8, and 9 due up for the Aviators, down 10-2 against the Lake Blue Streaks. Lyons' first pitch fouled off down the left field line. But you go back to the top of the fourth inning, a really strong outing on the mound.
Yeah, I was just going to say, right after killing it on the mound, who's leading off for the Aviators other than Gage Lyons?
0 for 1 in this game, but nearly had a long ball against JFK on Friday. 0-1 the count. Swing and a miss. Lyons well ahead of the offering from Schrock. And for Camden Schrock, 4 Ks so far today, looking for number 5 to begin the bottom of the fourth. And Schrock will have to wait as he misses low and out for ball 1. Count out 1-2 on Lyons with Schrader and Burton awaiting in the hole for Burton and in the on-deck circle for Schrader. Schrock again. Now the 1-2. There for strike 3 looking, 1 down. And that'll be strikeout number 5 today for Camden Schrock. He has been lights out today, and he has really impressed me all the way around, as we will have a pinch hit here for the Aviators.
Trevin Wilkes.
Now batting number 2, Trevin Wilkes.
So the
Another
sophomore getting a chance here.
Yeah.
And we'll see what he can do in his first career varsity AB. The first pitch he sees is right to the backstop. But a lot of sophomores on this roster, your class, doing a nice job here.
That's exactly where I was going, where kind of got a sophomore squad going on for the Aviators, and they're contributing in some big ways.
And right now, his contribution is patience, but still very important. Count now 2-0 as we are officially in the 6 o'clock hour. Schrock's 2-0. There for strike 1, able to respond nicely. But of course, it is getting darker and darker, and that means we are getting closer and closer to the rain. And I think the next 2 days, rain expected as well. The 2-1, Wilkes will pop it up, and it is out of play. Now 2-2 the count. And Cooper, you are not making that catch.
Yeah, that was way over our heads.
In the words of Aerosmith, dream on. Is that fair?
Yeah, no, that's fair. Never have been a baseball player.
Fan, I hope. Here's the 2-2. It'll back him out, but there is strike 3 looking.
Wow.
Back-to-back looking punch-outs for Schrock. He now has 6 on the day. 2 down, and that ball is out in left field.
Now batting number 6,
Schrock,
KB Cam
I think
Burton.
we got the correct word on him in that he's nice.
Nasty, nice. Either way, excellent stuff from him today, as here comes KB with 2 down. 0 for 1 today with a pop-out to Cuyor. And, of course, an early contender for your player of the game. And again, like the first pitch last time, it is to the backstop. But watching his film and just seeing what kind of player he is and hearing his summer coach sing his praises, this is what we expected from him today, and he has really lived up to the hype that was set before us, as there was a high bar, and he has lived up to every single bit of it. 2 runs allowed today, and of course had that tough walking stretch, but you take that out, 2 hits allowed, including 1 that was an RBI double. Really no shame in that. 2-0 again, able to hit the top of the strike zone. That has been, I would say, his most consistent strike today. Almost every single time able to find it. Here's the 2-1. KB, a hard hit ball over towards Cuellar again. His backhand, his throw, it's superb, and the side is retired. And just like that, the Aviators go in order in the bottom of the 4th inning. To the 5th we go. 10-2, Lake on top on SmeeSports.
With 8 years of real estate experience and deep roots in Alliance, Heather Prince is more than just your local realtor. She's a proud graduate of Alliance High School and the University of Mount Union. She is also a lifelong supporter of her community. As a dedicated Homes for Heroes affiliate, Heather is honored to give back to those who serve. Teachers, healthcare professionals, firefighters, and EMTs, along with law enforcement who buy or sell a home with Heather, will receive a special reward check after closing. A heartfelt thank you for their service. Local, loyal, here for our heroes. Thinking of making a move? Contact Heather today. Heather Prince with Howard Hanna Real Estate Services, your hometown real estate experts.
Welcome back to Alliance High School. Top of 5 here. 10-2 your score. Lake on top of the Aviators as you are watching high school baseball on SmeeSports. Foul tip there from Yoder to get things underway. 0-1 the count. And of course, as always, during all of our Alliance on Burlington broadcasts, this game can be seen again live on channel 1022 in Alliance for our subscribers to Spectrum. The 0-1 bounces on in, evening things up. Now some double action in the bullpen here for Lake. It's going to be Widener along with Alachi. Jackson Alachi, that is. The 1-1 misses for ball 2. But I wouldn't be surprised to see a call to the bullpen maybe in the 6th. I think you're going to see Schrock go out there one more time. The 2-1. Missing up high now. 3-1 the count. But for Lake, your goal here is simple. Plate 4 runs, and just like that, Alliance has to score to keep the game going. A chopper right back to Lions on the mound. His throw to 1 is on the money to Ganny. 1 up, 1 down, and nearly had Ganny taken out.
But I tell you what, though, the connection between Lions and Ganny, that is a connection that goes back many years, all the way back to...
Three manys.
Very many, probably all the way back to, I mean, we're talking Little Aviators football, even before that, preschool, honestly, kindergarten. It's a deep connection between those two, and that's the connection that you look for just on a team. You got that chemistry.
And in a city like Alliance, who you see so much chemistry and so much community support, it is no surprise to see that as the case. I think we saw it for football and especially basketball, the support that both teams had. And even today, amid the cold, a lot of fans here today for the Aviators. And I feel like that is what we have grown to expect from the Aviators. Is that a fair claim about your city, do you think, Cooper?
That's a great claim. You know, fans always representing.
And a hard hit ball into left field, but caught by Hendershot for out number 2.
I'll always remember, 8th grade track meet. We're at Beaver Local High School. It's snowing. It's probably 5 degrees. I mean, it's literally freezing out there. I'm coming up to the start line. I have a hoodie on under my jersey, and this dude in the crowd just yells, "Show them what A-Town's all about." I mean, that was like one of my favorite moments as an athlete, where you just feel so well represented from a fan standpoint and an athlete standpoint.
It's awesome, and those are the stories that you'll carry with you throughout your entire athletic and part of it academic career. QER fouls that one off. Now 1-2 the count. Of course, a double and triple away from the cycle. 5 RBIs today. He has been the main piece of wrecking for Lake. He has been so entertaining all the way around today. But a chance for Gage Lions to get out of the inning here. And he will just miss. But not a bad spot from Gage. It could have been a lot worse than that. Count out 2 balls, 2 strikes as here comes the pitch from Lions. Off the plate. And there it is, 2 balls, 2 strikes on QER. In the on-deck circle after him, it goes to Anderson Alachi. Did he go? That's the question. They will appeal. And the answer is yes, he went. The side is retired. Strikeout number 3 today for Gage Lions, and he will get Lake in order. To the bottom of the 5th inning we go in A-Town. 10-2 Lake still on top of Alliance.
With 8 years of real estate experience and deep roots in Alliance, Heather Prince is more than just your local realtor. She's a proud graduate of Alliance High School and the University of Mount Union. She is also a lifelong supporter of her community. As a dedicated Homes for Heroes affiliate, Heather is honored to give back to those who serve. Teachers, healthcare professionals, firefighters, and EMTs, along with law enforcement who buy or sell a home with Heather, will receive a special reward check after closing. A heartfelt thank you for their service. Local, loyal, here for our heroes. Thinking of making a move? Contact Heather today. Heather Prince with Howard Hanna Real Estate Services, your hometown real estate experts.
Before we get back to the action today, our thoughts and prayers go out to the whole entire CVCA family. As we reported back in October during our broadcast of CVCA football, one of their assistant coaches and Paul Mucklewitz was suffering with stage 4 cancer, and unfortunately last night it was announced by his family that he passed away due to cancer. So rest in peace to Coach Muck. Obviously they did a great job honoring him with the 4 Muck t-shirts all season, and best wishes to his entire family. They are expecting a newborn in the month of April from what I've been told. Just a tough loss for the CVCA community, a great family, and just seeing the tributes that came out today, talking to Tim Nichols of CVCA live stream and seeing the social media posts, you could just see how much that Coach Muck was loved over there. So rest in peace, Coach, as in talking to people, one of the things they did for him during practice was hold up their 4s. We'll do that here for him. But back to the action here at Alliance High School. The call to the bullpen has been made by Uniontown Lake as they will bring on Jackson Alashi, the junior, to throw. So now an opportunity to see something you don't really see all too often. A pitcher and a catcher who are related, and beyond that, siblings. We got to see that with Cole and Jake Young over at Mount Union last week. It's always a fun time for the family, of course, that you get to see both your boys play together.
I think it's always fun, and you actually see it quite a lot, I feel like, at Alliance with D'Lo and Val last year were playing together, as well as Cam Jones and Jace Jones.
This one is skied on the infield again. It's QER over at shorts, and he will make the grab for out number 1. But how often do you see it pitcher and catcher?
Yeah, I was going to say, that's the one where that's a crazy duo right there. But when you say skied, that ball was skied. I was actually having some doubts that QER was going to make the play on it, but he did, and that's one down.
He has been so solid today as well that he has been impressive and a guy who has been resilient too. Fisk fouls this one off, 0-1 the count. Looking ahead to the top of the 6th inning for Lake, it is Anderson Alachi, AJ Mitchell, and Drew Perbanich. It'll be 3, 4, and 5 for the Blue Streaks. The 0-1 there to Fisk, now 0-2. And we are officially an hour and a half into this one. 2-strike count on Fisk, as it is Bo Davis awaiting in the on-deck circle. And Bo will have to wait a little bit more as that one skips in for ball 1. But this is where the rally has to start for Alliance's offense. Played a few runs here and get back to work. And the big reason why it has stayed at 10-2 for as long as it has is because of Gage Lyons' pitching. And the ones who fouled off of Alachi.
Yeah, Gage Lyons, a sophomore, stepping up in a big way on the mound. I mean, he's a really dynamic player we've gotten to see just in these first 1.5 games even. I mean, he's shown his hitting power as he had a near home run against GFK Catholic, and then right now he's showing out on the mound for the Aviators.
Fisk, a chopper over towards third. The throw across the diamond is not in time. It will take him off the bag. And there is the one-out base runner for Alliance.
That's exactly what you need to get things started. D'Lo using the speed, able to get to first. Sets up Bo Davis to start really get things going. Just like Coach Morrison said, get it going.
And he needs to here. And if Alliance can find a way back into this game, what a story that would be to tell. But as you said and Coach Morrison said, it has to start here. First pitch low to Davis. Opposite ends today for him, a strikeout and a walk. And again, it's off the plate for ball 2. And during our next break, we will have more score updates from around the grounds in the OHSAA, as we will hopefully have what could be the end of the game score from Ron Model between Holy Name and Elyria Catholic. Here's the 2-0. It's off the plate for ball 3. I'm trying to think back to when the last time Holy Name won opening day, and I think that was a win against Fairview in 2023. And they have a chance to win it today. And that'll be a great start to their conference schedule as well, as Davis will take ball 4 low and out.
Great patience by Bo Davis. 4 straight balls. That's just, I mean, that's one way to get it done.
And now here comes Charlie Ike, and of course our Holy Name fans asking when we will be back on the air for them. It's tough getting down there, of course. I have class Monday, Wednesday, Friday until 2:50, which getting here today, only reason I got here well enough time was because we had a quiz, which you memorized it. If you didn't know it, you didn't know it. If you knew it, you knew it, and you were done in 15 minutes, which was my end of it. But obviously making it to Ron Model an hour and 20 minutes away, not so easy on a weekday.
Look at Smee, though, being a good student, getting his work done fast, and coming to watch some baseball.
I have to be a good example for you sometimes, Cooper.
Sometimes.
Take notes. The 1-0. On the outer edge, evening things up. But you'll be on spring break, and I will not be, so at least for a time. Alachi taking his time on the mound before the 1-1, and it is in the dirt for ball 2. Of course, we did see Widener warm up, so he is your third baseman, and that could be a simple move to make if the bases are loaded again. But you bring up Lincoln Reese, who walked in a run the last time it was set up like this. The 2-1 Ike, he knew it was there at the top of the zone and took it. And I feel like that aggressiveness, that first jump that we saw from Alliance on Friday, it hasn't been here today.
Yeah, they started off a little aggressive. Cohen Hendershot taking that first swing, getting that first hit, but just nothing coming from it.
And there is strike 3 looking on the outer edge. 2 down. Jackson Alachi gets his first punch out of the afternoon. And Lincoln comes up with 2 on, 2 down.
Ike started walking away. He was shocked.
But I think in the back of his mind he knew, and again it goes back to being more aggressive. That is the 4th strikeout today for Alliance. Out of 6, that was looking. And I'm sure Coach Graffis is going to say something to the tune of, what the heck, in the post-game talk.
Something to the tune of that. I think maybe a little more colorful, but I agree.
You can't have 4 guys go down looking.
Yeah.
You can't. No matter the level, especially here. Reese takes the 1-0 for ball 2, and obviously if it's an obvious one, you take it. And of course, we don't have ABS where you can automatically challenge, but you have to understand the zone, and the third go-around is where you really need to harness it, and even the second one, you should have had it a little bit better. That one a strike, now 2-1 on Reese. But I'm sure even you as someone who didn't play baseball still understand how important it is to get a jump and not go down looking. The 2-1 off the plate for ball 3, and if I'm Charlie Ike, I'm looking at that one and I'm thinking, hey, I just saw that pitch. A really close one on the outer edge, as in the on-deck circle, it's Jackson Ganny, and he is starting to think about his approach at least a little bit. And he will have his chance here. Back-to-back walks for Lincoln Reese. I believe that is his 4th free pass of the season. His on-base percentage is through the roof. 6 for 7 in that department. He has reached all but one time, and that was a strikeout looking. Oh, and I miscounted. That means, I think I missed a strikeout then, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strikeouts today we're looking. There are 7 total. But still, 5 of 7 are looking. You can't have that.
Coach Graff is definitely not happy. I mean,
Frustrates me as a former ball player.
as much as you always see Graff with he's grinning ear to ear always. He might always look happy, but
Always.
sometimes he looks happy through anger.
Yeah, that's fair. I can allow that one to be correct. Bases loaded here for Jackson Ganny. First pitch he will take for a strike, and I'm sure if you're Alex Cuellar over at shortstop, you're saying, come my way. We'll do it again. A hard line on his last time. Both outs for Ganny today have been directly to Cuellar at short. And a good take there from Ganny. A close miss from Alachi. In the top of the 6th inning, it is Cuellar, Alachi, and Mitchell 2, 3, and 4 for Lake. So the top of their order getting back to work, needing, again, 2 runs at that point. And that's always the kicker. Of course, you have it right now in a spot where you're down by 8, but if they turn around and plate 2 in the top of the 6th, not only do you need to score some runs to make your comeback, but you need some runs to keep the game going beyond the 6th. Ganny, did he go? That's the question. And the answer is no. Count now 2-2, and Lake thought they got out of the inning right there.
Close, Ganny, but no cigar, at least for Lake.
Another life here for Jackson Ganny and the Aviator offense. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Chases the high heat, and the side is retired. Second strikeout of the inning gets the job done for Jackson Alachi, and the inning is over. To the 6th inning we go. It's Lake up 10-2 on Alliance.
With 8 years of real estate experience and deep roots in Alliance, Heather Prince is more than just your local realtor. She's a proud graduate of Alliance High School and the University of Mount Union. She is also a lifelong supporter of her community. As a dedicated Homes for Heroes affiliate, Heather is honored to give back to those who serve. Teachers, healthcare professionals, firefighters, and EMTs, along with law enforcement who buy or sell a home with Heather, will receive a special reward check after closing. A heartfelt thank you for their service. Local, loyal, here for our heroes. Thinking of making a move? Contact Heather today. Heather Prince with Howard Hanna Real Estate Services, your hometown real estate experts.
Before we get back to the action, if you or someone you know is a business owner looking to sponsor broadcasts in the Cleveland or Stark County area, contact us at one of those avenues on your screen, and I would love to work out a deal with you to promote the best of your business and your brand. Thank you to Heather Prince of Howard Hanna, along with Channel 1022, for making today's telecast possible. As well, before we get back to the action, some score updates from around the grounds. In the top of the 7th inning, 1 down. It is 3-0. Holy Name on top of Elyria Catholic. Indeed, as confirmed, Nick Nemeth is playing at second base today for the Namers. And as well, Harrison Frank, 85 pitches today, going for a complete game shutout. As well, score update from Macomb Community College. It is 3-2. It is the Monarchs on top of Tri-C in the 5th. As well, one more score update for you. A softball score update. In the top of the 5th, Canton Central Catholic up 9-1 on JFK Catholic. So 2 teams that we saw earlier on this past week. 1 in softball, 1 in baseball, going at it up in Canton. And the first pitch of the inning, it is driven deep to right field, and that one will be tracked down and caught by Cam Burton for out number 1.
Nice job, KB, able to go back and get that one. You saw kind of a look of worry on Gage Lyons as he threw his hands up over his head and then celebrated after KB made the catch.
And Alachi, he thought he got a hold of just enough to sneak it out of here.
And
Already
also,
1 home run today.
I was going to say, mad respect to KB for doing that in the rain.
The drizzle is coming down now a little bit here at Alliance High School. Time locally 6:24, so 20 minutes away from 2 hours. As of course, this game did start at 4:43, initially scheduled for 5 o'clock, then 4:30. And that one misses behind Mitchell.
I'll say definitely a bit of a wayward ball there.
Carry on, my wayward son.
But we're in Ohio, though, not Kansas.
Fair enough. Here's the 2-0, bounced in for ball 3, and as we talked about, the rain is the great equalizer.
I was going to say maybe a little bit slippery there.
Just a little bit. 3-0 count here on Mitchell with Peranich in the on-deck circle. And there is the walk for Mitchell. So here comes Prebanich, the first baseman. A ground out, an RBI single, and a walk for him today.
Now batting number 3, Drew Preventic.
And again for Lake, given the rain and given everything, this is your chance to drive in at least one run here and get closer and closer to your goal of ending the game a little bit early. As obviously that has to be their goal right now, knowing how close they are. The worst feeling is when you're right around that eventual run rule and you just can't get there in the end. First pitch from Lions up high for ball 1. And I think at this point in the game, we will not see another call to the bullpen.
I just don't see that happening. But you heard Coach Morrison tell Gage, hey, slow it down. Don't get too ahead of yourself.
The 1-0. A good drive deep to right field. That one plenty of carry, but KB again able to get there.
Man.
He tracked it down again in the corner for out number 2.
You can kind of see the rain really start to come down now, at least from where I'm standing. It's a lot more clear.
Got a little on my face leaning out to see where that one went.
Still, how about KB being the defensive anchor right now, at least in this inning, and able to not let the Blue Streaks extend that lead anymore off of 2 big hits.
So a change has been made. This is going to be Jackson Garrett, number 23, coming on in place of Widener, which could mean he is coming on to pitch in the bottom of the 6th. First pitch there, strike, 0-1 the count.
Now batting number 23, Jackson Garrett.
And for Garrett, a chance here to do some damage. And he will sky this one into shallow center field. It's Lincoln Reese. He calls it off, and the side is retired. Plenty of hard hit balls into the outfield, but no damage done by Lake. To the bottom of the 6th inning, we go in 8-town, 10-2, Lake on top.
With 8 years of real estate experience and deep roots in Alliance, Heather Prince is more than just your local realtor. She's a proud graduate of Alliance High School and the University of Mount Union. She is also a lifelong supporter of her community. As a dedicated Homes for Heroes affiliate, Heather is honored to give back to those who serve. Teachers, healthcare professionals, firefighters, and EMTs, along with law enforcement who buy or sell a home with Heather, will receive a special reward check after closing. A heartfelt thank you for their service. Local, loyal, here for our heroes. Thinking of making a move? Contact Heather today. Heather Prince with Howard Hanna Real Estate Services, your hometown real estate experts.
To the bottom of the 6th inning we go here at Alliance High School. Lions, Schrader, and Burton. Most likely going to be Lions, then Wilkes and Burton here in the bottom of the 6th inning. But 10-2 your score. Alliance on top. Or Lions trailing, excuse me. This has been Lake's game all the way around. Just a tough day at the office for the Aviators. But Lions, a good drive into left center field, and it will be caught in the gap for out number 1. Ty DeGeorge able to track it down just before the warning track.
Good work by Gage Lyons, trying to make things happen. Another big hit. Again, showing that versatility. He's a polarizing piece of this Aviators team, but just not happening.
Now here comes Trevin Wilkes, 0 for 1 today with a strikeout. But Jackson Alachi doing a nice job continuing his great outing in relief. Wilkes fouls that one off, 0-1 the count. Make sure you stick with us after our final commercial break as we will announce our player of the game presented by SmeeSports. Plenty of good candidates on Lake's roster, but I think one player stands out above the rest right now in my mind. Count quickly, 0-2 on Wilkes. Alachi looking for his third strikeout of the day. And he'll have to wait as it's a nice block behind the plate. Anderson keeps it close enough, but 1-0 the count. And I love that you have that fresh rain spell now. I think you're getting plenty of hints of that right here.
Yeah.
Nice little breeze and nice little spring afternoon and evening. The 1-2, well high.
It's still nice weather, you know. I think rain can be good, could be bad sometimes, but I think where it's at right now with that light drizzle, you get that fresh rain smell. It's definitely good.
Could be a lot worse. Counting out full 3-2, and I think tomorrow will be it could be a lot worse. Which we will see if that is the case or not. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Wilkes. Alachi's payoff pitch. Wilkes, he will drive this one into the shallow infield. And it's Cuellar making the play in the rain for out number 2.
Cuellar again, I mean, I feel like we've been calling his name so much for this Blue Streak squad.
Now batting.
He stayed at short the entire game, but it's felt like he has been everywhere.
Cam Burton.
And now here comes Cam Burton stepping in. Cam so far today, 2 outs, both recorded by Cuellar. In the top of the 7th inning for Lake, looking to put on the finishing touches. It is Retton, Severson, and Yoder, 7, 8, and 9. But Cam Burton, his goal right now, keep the inning going. First pitch backs him out for ball 1. But this is what you get from your spring sports. The 1-0. Off the plate for ball 2.
Spring sports, man, it's a love-hate with me. I mean, track meets, you could have a dual meet that doesn't matter, and it's the most beautiful weather ever, but you get to an invitational, and, the rain just starts coming down, and, you know, if you're me, like, you're running the mile, and it's just pouring rain on you, and that's when I'm like, I don't know if I like running.
And again, you go back to that meet that was canceled the day of that big storm last April at the end.
Yeah, that one was crazy because Minerva had just got there, and they canceled it.
I was in the box with Athletic Director Garth Evans at the time, and he made the call when we were there waiting it out. But, of course, we played. We got our game in. So I guess, baseball's better. Foul tip on the 3-1, and we are full 3-2 on Burton. Should we have played that day? Absolutely not. I'll say that. But you know what? As is the nature of the beast for spring sports. Payoff pitch. Burton drives it into right center field, and it is down. A 2-out base knock for Cam Burton. And back to the top of the order we go for Alliance.
Now batting number 15.
Nice job by KB, able to make contact in the clutch.
And that is the first hit for Alliance since the RBI double from Charlie Eakey during the first inning. Only hit number 3 today. We've seen a combined 9 hits. Lake has 6. Alliance has 3. But we have 12 runs. Sometimes the math does not math. Hender shot again into center field, and there is the web gem for Ty to George, and the side is retired. We will watch that one back on the replay. Man. Full extension for Super Ty.
That's a good look right there.
I don't think that could have been any better for him.
I thought Cohn was going to get away with one. I thought it was going to drop, and then in comes Ty to George.
Just a perfect play out in center field ends the inning. To the 7th inning we go here. Final inning of play. Lake looking to put on the finishing touches when we return. And on the mound, we'll have a new pitcher, and we'll talk about him in a few moments.
With 8 years of real estate experience and deep roots in Alliance, Heather Prince is more than just your local realtor. She's a proud graduate of Alliance High School and the University of Mount Union. She is also a lifelong supporter of her community. As a dedicated Homes for Heroes affiliate, Heather is honored to give back to those who serve. Teachers, healthcare professionals, firefighters, and EMTs, along with law enforcement who buy or sell a home with Heather, will receive a special reward check after closing. A heartfelt thank you for their service. Local, loyal, here for our heroes. Thinking of making a move? Contact Heather today. Heather Prince with Howard Hanna Real Estate Services, your hometown real estate experts.
Time now for the call to the bullpen for Alliance. It is Garrett Atkins, the junior, coming on to throw here for Alliance. And Cooper, this will be pitcher number 5 today for the Aviators.
I think that's kind of been the story of the game, at least on the side of the Aviators, where they kind of just haven't really got their pitching figured out. I mean, you started off, you went through, Brody Bagheera, and then you switched to Parker Woods. And then, who was it after Parker?
Iki.
Oh, then Iki. And then you switched to Gage Lyons, who's been the best so far, and he did a great job. But I think as the game kind of starts to come to a close, Aviators make that last change to Garrett Atkins.
And his first pitch is in there for a strike.
Now batting number 15, Max.
And as well, it looks like we do have a new catcher.
It's probably Ethan Jackson.
And I believe it is number 23.
It's my best guess.
I believe that is 23. So if that is the case, a full battery change here for Alliance, and so far so good. Oh, to the count here on Retton. After him, it goes to 27. That'll be Lavelle, then Yoder. This one pops up and out of play.
Now catching number 23, Ethan Jackson.
And I like the move here. You give Bo a rest, and you keep him ready for tomorrow, which, of course, is going to be another big game against Massillon.
And honestly, even taking Gage out just an inning early, I mean, that's honestly not bad either.
And this one is down the line in left field. A beautiful swing from Retton, and he is cruising on into second with a leadoff double to begin the top of the 7th.
But yeah, just getting whatever rest you can for any backup arms. I mean, with the way that Gage pitched in the time that he played, I definitely think it's good to have another weapon for these coming games this week.
As well, a final score update from Ron Model Field. Holy Name takes down Elyria Catholic 3-1. Russell Macetta comes in and gets the save in the top of the 7th inning in relief of Harrison Frank. And they'll be back at it tomorrow. Well, who are we kidding? They will not be back at it tomorrow given the weather over at Elyria Catholic High School. I'd be surprised if they played. It's a dirt field, a very dusty field over at EC. We were there last year. They're not going to play tomorrow. Alliance might be the only game tomorrow. The runner, he will go. It's going to be down the third base line, foul. But I wouldn't be surprised if in the Stark County area that this would be one of, 5 games that play?
Yeah, probably something like that.
Dirt fields I don't think are going to be active tomorrow. I'd be surprised to see a game on dirt happen. I think you agree with that completely.
Yeah.
You never know, though. You never do know.
That might make it a bit more difficult for me, though, if I am able to make it to this game tomorrow after track practice in the rain. I mean, we'll see how it goes, but try to keep you in the loop.
And another one fouled on the left field line. You'll be fine. If we play, you'll be okay.
Right.
Count now 1 and 2. But Massillon tomorrow, Canton Central on Wednesday, and then right after Easter it goes Buckeye, Salem, Berlin, Highland. Buckeye and Highland on either end of that. A really, really tough way to begin and end your week. And then you come back and all of a sudden it is Carrollton week. Then West Branch, then Minerva, and then your noisy neighbors. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count here on Lavelle. Lobbed in high, and we are even. For Alliance in the bottom of the inning, it is going to be Fisk, Davis, and Iki. 2, 3, and 4 due up. We'll see if we do get to them, or if it will be some changes instead. Atkins is 2-2. A nice block behind the plate, but a full count now, 3-2. Yondex circle is Yoder for Lake. But definitely getting a little bit chillier out with those wind gusts. And again, the big question is how that does affect the end of the game, but also tomorrow. The payoff pitch misses high, and he will lose Lavelle.
Now batting.
Back-to-back runners on for Lake, and here comes Yoder. After Yoder, it goes back to the top of your order with so many key figures. And that'll begin the fifth go-around today for Lake, who has dominated start to finish. But no runs as of late. It's been a while since we have seen a run going back to the bottom of the third. A hard hit ball over towards short. It's Charlie Eakey knocking it down in the infield, but that will load up the bases. It'll be an infield base knock for Yoder. But excellent athleticism over at short from Charlie Eakey.
Yeah, good job. Able to stop the ball, but if he was able to get full control, and I think he might have had a little bit of time to make that throw, but ultimately would still be a difficult one for him.
So far, DeGeorge, 2 hard 90s, a walk, and a fly out for him. So technically 0 for 1. But the bases loaded here, a great chance for DeGeorge. Already an RBI today, considering that his second hard 90 did bring in a run. As well, final score, Canton Central knocks off JFK Catholic in softball 11-1. DeGeorge, a hard hit ball up the middle to Eakey, and it'll bounce off of his chest. It'll be an error over at short that drives it number 11 today for Lake. And this is deja vu for the Alliance Aviators.
Yeah, now that one, you can't afford to make that mistake there.
Now batting number
Same exact score that we did see, though, last year in the playoffs. Could lightning strike twice? Of course, in a metaphorical sense, as we hope it doesn't strike once here. Less than ideal if it does.
You might see a blue streak.
Haha, I like what you did there. And there's the coaching fielding play at long last down at third. They got him finally.
You love to see it.
But here comes Alex Cuyor, the shortstop. Ground out, strikeout, 2 RBI single, 3-run homer over the left center field wall. He has been really entertaining today, to say the least. The 0-1 will miss. And, of course, the big reason why this game was moved up the way it was is because of the athletes' banquet coming up. But as we're nearing the 2.5-hour mark of this game, it's a good thing it was just because of the lightness. And that one's past Woods. It'll be an E5 this time. And that'll be the 6th run driven in today from Cuyor. Make it 12-2 Lake. Back-to-back awkward hops over on the left side of the infield for Alliance. And now Alachi steps in.
I was just going to say, that left side of the turf, you have to think there's got to be like some lumps over there or something, because, I mean, like 2 straight errors. One from Eakey, one from Woods.
Something out of the ordinary.
Potentially. Obviously, I don't know, but.
As well, final score from Amherst, 11-0. Steele has knocked off Berea Mid-Park. Steele, of course, the runner-up in Division II last year, losing to Anthony Wayne. But they bring back the Charles brothers, who both are insane players, both players for T3, I believe, playing for Meslek. A lot of great players in Lorain County, and then over at North Ridgeville, you have Manny Ramos, a D1 commit, I believe, to the University of Toledo as a junior. And we've seen him and his brother Ed play a few times. The 2-0 in there for strike one. But, of course, we'll see more of them during our summer coverage of the 965 Midwest Challenge, along with the OPL, Diamond League, WRCL, and NABF World Series. And one more that we will announce soon. A good drive deep to right field. This one going towards the corner, and that one is gone! What a swing, what a drive, and what a grand slam. It's Anderson Alachi. It's Groundhog Day for the catcher.
I shouldn't have even mentioned it pregame, honestly. But doing what he did in the playoffs, in the Grand Slam, man, cherry on top for the Lake Blue Streaks.
Up 16-2 now on Alliance.
Make it 16-2.
An unreal performance today from Lake.
AJ Mitchell.
A wake-up call, some might say. And still, there are no outs in the top of the 7th inning.
Got to get it under control.
Second home run today for Lake. And I'm kind of surprised that one got out of here. I didn't think it had enough carry, but in the end, it just did. As well, Antonio C. is getting warm to be, you could say the closer, but no save at all today possible for Lake. Up by 14. Again, if Paul Skeens had this kind of run support, he would be the happiest man on the planet. And Mitchell, a hard hit ball down the left field line, foul. They have been unhinged today at the plate. And if St. V's is watching for film, I'm sure they are really thinking, okay, how do we shut down this strong of an offense?
And I will say, it looked like at the end of his release, Atkins may have slipped a little bit trying to plant that foot. I don't know if that's, the turf conditions in the rain or...
Probably a little bit of that. It definitely does happen on turf all the time. The 0-1 lobbed in and missing, evening things up. But for those counting the clock at home, we are officially 2.5 hours in. Or no, just 2 hours in, excuse me. I say 2.5 would seem a little outlandish, but we could even get there. The 1-1 misses for ball 2. But of course, still getting darker and darker here. The rain, it is coming, and we've seen it a little bit, but I think we're going to see a lot more of it overnight. Here's the 2-1. A high pop-up off towards the right side. This one is going to be foul and out of play. And as well, there is a new right fielder in for Alliance. Count out 2-2, and this is where we go to Game Changer to find some clarification. And that is going to be Miles out and right.
Zayden, yeah. I was trying to get my head out there in the rain, and I almost just fell out of my chair, actually. But
so, of course, with some changes in mind, Zayden Miles, number 37, in. The 2-2 is in the dirt for ball 3, and we are full. In the on-deck circle, it is going to be Pregame. So back to the first baseman we go. And this pitch, it is driven into left center field. And there is Cam Burton making the play for out number 1. That'll bring up Pregame. So far, a walk, an RBI single, a ground out, and a fly out to his name. But you can just feel the energy completely gone.
Now batting number 3.
yeah, on the end of the Aviators. But then for Lake, the energy has been there all day for them.
They're having a jolly good time in their dugout right now.
Right field, we now have Zayden Miles.
And this one driven into right center field. KB, he is underneath it, barely has to move, and he will make the play for out number 2. But another powerful drive from Pregame and this offense. But right to the defense, and with 2 down, here comes Widener, the third baseman. Single walk, strikeout, fly out. And again for Alliance, of course, we're going to see some changes, but the base order is Fisk, Davis, and Iki 2, 3, and 4. But I think you and I both agree that we are going to see some changes made. Swing and a miss on the first one, 0-1 the count. The flyout that we mentioned, that is not Widener's. The flyout does belong to Garrett, who batted the last time up, but was replaced this time around. The 0-1 skips on in. And again, it looks like Antonio C. in the bullpen is going to come on to close things out for Lake. But again, up by 14, no save opportunity possible. Here's the 1-1. In there for strike 2. And I think this is where the strike zone is going to just expand just a little bit.
Potentially, maybe some people just kind of want to go home. And can't really say I blame them, even as a Aviators fan here.
Here's the 1-2, swing and a miss, and the side is retired. First strikeout of the day from Akins gets the job done, but not before Lake enters hunting season, plating another 6 runs to put the finishing touches on. 2, 3, and 4 do it for Alliance in the bottom of the inning. Final 3 outs to play when we return.
With 8 years of real estate experience and deep roots in Alliance, Heather Prince is more than just your local realtor. She's a proud graduate of Alliance High School and the University of Mount Union. She is also a lifelong supporter of her community. As a dedicated Homes for Heroes affiliate, Heather is honored to give back to those who serve. Teachers, healthcare professionals, firefighters, and EMTs, along with law enforcement who buy or sell a home with Heather, will receive a special reward check after closing. A heartfelt thank you for their service. Local, loyal, here for our heroes. Thinking of making a move? Contact Heather today. Heather Prince with Howard Hanna Real Estate Services, your hometown real estate experts.
Final 3 outs here for Alliance in the bottom of the 7th inning. Fisk probably going to then go to Jackson. And Iki due up here in the final half inning. And on the mound now, Antonio C. for Lake. His first pitch is popped up out of play by Fisk. 0-1 the count. And just peering down to try and get a look to see if it is or not. And it looks like indeed it will be Jackson in the on-deck circle replacing Davis. And based on the defensive changes, that is what we expected. The 0-1 misses low, evening things up. Assuming today's result holds, Lake improves to 1-0. Alliance drops to 1-1.
But I'll have to say, when you look at the team that Lake has kind of put together and the offensive performance, it's not, I mean, obviously, yeah, 16-2. It's not a good look, but the Aviators didn't even have an awful game. Like, they had their moments. They had good moments, but it just didn't happen for them.
On that strike, a little interesting as that one was dropped and looked very low from here.
Like you said, maybe the strike zone just expanding a little bit as we reach the end of this game.
And I think you gave us our explanation as to why. Here's the 2-2, low in the dirt, and we are full. But again, tomorrow, join us at 5 p.m. live here from Alliance High School, as it will be the Aviators taking on Massillon. So a big matchup for both parties. Here's the payoff pitch. Hard grounder up the middle. Quior again over at short. His throw to one is on the money. Talk about a perfect performance from one player. It has been Alex Quior today for Lake. 1 up, 1 down. And now for the first time this season, here comes Ethan Jackson. His first career varsity at-bat. And as well, make sure you stick with us for our player of the game announcement once this one is done, as we now do have a conversation as to where this one goes. First pitch taken for ball 1. For Jackson right now, this is the biggest at-bat of your high school career.
Yeah, and I will say normally he's more of a killer on the cello, but baseball diamond, he's pretty legit too.
A chopper over towards second, back picked, the throw to one on time. 2 up, 2 down, and Lake can sound their final countdown. Charlie Iki with 2 down will step in, looking to keep this game going for the Aviators.
You have to think, though, as Ethan Jackson, it's got to be pretty tough to back up Bo Davis, who is a huge player and is moving on to play at the next level.
But a great player to learn from. And I would say tomorrow, there's a good chance he does catch, as I would expect to see Bo on the mound tomorrow and then D'Lo on Wednesday for Alliance, but who knows. First pitch to Iki up high for ball 1. And as well for those in the local area or for those who don't, Download 91.1 WRMU and tune in tonight for Sports After Dark at 10:30. It'll be a fun show talking about March Madness and how Duke messed up my chance at a perfect Final Four.
Same. Well, Duke messed up my whole bracket, man. I had them winning.
I had them winning too, but as well, we'll talk about this game in a little more depth as to what happened all the way around. 2-0 misses in on Iki. 3-0 count now, and looking in the on-deck circle, it is not going to be Lincoln Reese. It is going to be Zayden Miles potentially getting his first career varsity at-bat.
And you know what? I like that look from Graf, letting some of those players who don't maybe get as much time get into the game and get that varsity experience.
But Charlie Iki, a great day for him at the plate. 1 for 2 with an RBI double and 2 walks. And as well as Reese exits the game here, through 2 games, he has only failed to reach once. And that was the strikeout to begin the game. Other than that, perfect on Friday and 2 for 3 in that department today. So 6 of 7 reaching safely. A really high on-base percentage. First pitch to Miles in the dirt for ball 1. If the game were to continue, it would turn to Jackson Ganny, and I think you do keep him in. Of course, a couple of other guys on the roster that you can bring in. We'll see if they do, and potentially, how many? The 1-0 hits him. It'll be a hard 90 to begin the batting career of Zayden Miles at the varsity level.
Almost got taken out there.
And here comes Jackson Ganny. And I don't think that you can enter Parker Woods as a batter at this point. I mean, you probably could. It would have to be for Schrader, who was replaced by Wilkes. And do you take Wilkes out, or do you leave him in for a third go-around? If you get there, of course. And now time called Alachi. He'll go and talk to his pitcher. At that point, is it worth it to make the change? If we get there, how much preparation do you want to do for tomorrow? Here's the question.
Right.
It's not a bad thing per se, but at the same time, do you want to go out here and have everybody play and then go to tomorrow and go with it? Or do you just say, hey, we're going to have our guys out here who have played the majority of the game and don't get those opportunities? We'll see. Back pick down to 1 is not in time, but if he was on the bag, he was a dead duck.
That would have been one way to end the game right there.
I think Anderson Alashi would have quite liked that to be the way this one would end. And, of course, all of this without one of their best hitters from last season. Lip, he is here today, but just inactive. Impressive to see what this Lake squad has been able to do. Count now 1-1. Jackson Ganny so far 0 for 3, but plenty of powerful swings. Just like that one, up the middle and into center field. They will send Iki on home. He is cruising, and he is going to be out, and that will do it. Whew. Lake, one heck of a hose from the outfield, and that is going to do it. 16-2, your final.
Man, I was going to say Iki got hosed. Holy smokes.
Just when you think Lake has found their best play, they find one more that is even better.
That was a beauty.
We'll watch it back here on the replay. That's tied to George.
Man.
Little QB1 action. What a performance today from Lake. 16-2 your final. When we return, we will announce our player of the game, presented by SmeeSports.
With 8 years of real estate experience and deep roots in Alliance, Heather Prince is more than just your local realtor. She's a proud graduate of Alliance High School and the University of Mount Union. She is also a lifelong supporter of her community. As a dedicated Homes for Heroes affiliate, Heather is honored to give back to those who serve. Teachers, healthcare professionals, firefighters, and EMTs, along with law enforcement who buy or sell a home with Heather, will receive a special reward check after closing. A heartfelt thank you for their service. Local, loyal, here for our heroes. Thinking of making a move? Contact Heather today. Heather Prince with Howard Hanna Real Estate Services, your hometown real estate experts.
Welcome back to Alliance High School. What a win today on opening day for the Lake Blue Streaks. 16-2. Yes, 16-2. Your final today. Your player of the game presented by SmeeSports, of course, Anderson Alachi. He gets an honorable mention for having 5 RBIs, of course, a grand slam as well. But you know who also had 5 RBIs, but also a swing that, albeit an error, did bring in a run and some great defense? Alex Quior, the shortstop, your player of the game. You talk about domination from one player. I think the Aviators are going to have nightmares at number 8 throughout the rest of this season.
Yeah, and well, I think they're just going to have nightmares about Lake. I mean, even going back to last season with Alachi, who had 2 homers in the game, 1 grand slam, but Quior, man, I mean, he was getting it done on both sides of the ball. He was being super effective. Like you said, 5 RBIs. He had the homer to kick things off, and then fielding. I mean, he was just doing an absolutely fantastic job. He accounted for, I mean, I would say a large majority of the outs throughout the game, just getting things done and kind of being the backbone of this Lake Blue Streak squad.
You want to count it for Mr. Quior?
Sure.
Ground out from Ganny, 1. Pop out from Burton, 2. Line out from Ganny, 3. Ground out from Burton, 4. Pop out from Hendershot, 5. Pop out from Schrader, which was then Wilkes, 6. And a ground out from Fisk. 7 putouts today for Alex Quior, 5 RBIs. What can he do?
Filling that stat sheet, man. He's that guy for Lake today.
Now we have to talk about Alliance here. I know you don't want to talk about Alliance right now, but we do. What went wrong today?
Well, obviously, first inning, you get down to the 1-0 lead. Not bad, but they just kind of struggled keeping things going. They couldn't really find the rhythm. I mean, from the pitching squad, it just had their struggles. I mean, what do we go through? 5 pitchers throughout the game. Just not great. And then Lake, with their offensive firepower they're hitting, kind of overwhelmed our defense in the second, and just the Aviators were not able to respond. I think is the biggest thing is Lake overwhelmed and the Aviators couldn't respond.
Now for Lake going forward, 15-13 last year, 1-0 to start this year. Shepherd St. V's team, CCC, Wadsworth, Louisville, Hoover coming up. Where do you go from here?
Well, I think obviously, both these teams have a pretty tough schedule, especially with Lake being in the Federal League. But I think, both teams have a long ways to go, and I think they're both looking to have really good seasons this year. So definitely a lot to look forward to, especially with an Aviators team that we cover quite a bit here on the SmeeSports YouTube channel.
Closing takeaway for both teams.
I think my biggest take for Lake, keep doing what you're doing. Try to keep the consistency going and let these boys hit, man. Quior and Alachi, just the firepower there is insane. The Aviators, you got to recoup. You have, 3 more games in a row?
2.
2 more games. This was the first of that 3-game stretch. Just recoup, regather everything, and try to lock in before you play some pretty tough opponents.
And with that in mind, tomorrow it's Massillon coming in for a matchup at 5 p.m. Make sure you tune in live here on the SmeeSports YouTube channel to make sure you do not miss any second of the action. To stay up to date on all the games that we are covering, follow SmeeSports on Instagram and TikTok, SmeeSports LLC on Facebook and LinkedIn, and SmeeFist 2024 on Twitter. As well, go down below and subscribe. While there is no added cost, it greatly helps out all that we do here at SmeeSports, as our goal is to reach 7,500 subscribers by the end of this calendar year. That goal is set in place by a group of students from the MDA 254 class over at the University of Mount Union, including Sarah Magyar, your producer today. Some of her colleagues will be hopefully joining us over the next couple of days to create some content for us that you will see on social media, as they have been tasked with kind of taking over our social media strategy, which, believe it or not, a page that has covered plenty of sports games can do more than just post graphics. Surprise, surprise. It's something like I knew that, but you know what? We're going to make it work. It's going to be great. They've done a great job so far, and I'm excited to see what they can do. And one final closing note, make sure that if you're a small business owner, you get with us to start advertising now. We cover Alliance, Marlington, and Minerva here in the Stark County area, including Tuskegee County's finest, KSU Tusk baseball and softball, then up in Cleveland, Holy Name, Padua, and some other great schools up there. Advertise with us and contact us at one of those avenues to get the ball rolling on that. But that'll do it for us here tonight at Alliance High School. 16-2 your final. Lake demolishes Alliance. For Cooper Fontaine, I am Nathan Smee saying so long from A-Town, and we will see you again tomorrow for some more exciting Alliance baseball. This has been OHSAA Baseball on SmeeSports in partnership with Spectrum Channel 1022 Alliance.